welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto. Flash, man. Unbelievable. We have another crazy game coming up, a PBZ, haven't had too many of those today. Both dudes from Korea. In fact, everybody left is from Korea. Snoot was the last man standing. First up, we have a guy named First. He's from TCM. He is a former Intel Extreme Masters champion. So please scream and shout for First. And his opponent from the team StarTale is only 17 years old, but has 7 StarCraft 2 titles, and has been completely on fire in this tournament and looks unstoppable. But I guess we're gonna see what happens. Put your hands together for StarTale Life.
Okay, thank you very much, Jarrett. Players are going to get themselves nicely settled in the booth, which gives myself, QXC, and Kalaris a chance to, well, recap a little bit of Flash history and also look forward to this game. First of all, what a crazy match to commentate. Yeah, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to cast. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to stand up and shout about, literally. So yeah, I get all the best games. I'm quite lucky.
You and Sean playing a game of Shout Wars over there.
Yeah, that's what we like to do when we get some good games.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's something else.
No, that's
totally different.
That's totally biscuited somewhere.
Wow, he definitely
it's a free plug there.
He picked a good name.
John deserves a free plug. Yeah, it's all good. Moving on to this game, though, equally very big match for both these players for different reasons. Life. Well, I said he hadn't had the best of years. I mean, in relative terms, of course. Yeah. He still had a good year. He still won DreamHack. He's still, there or thereabouts in GSL. But in the way that you sort of thought he might go on from last year, having had a great year, maybe not as spectacular as he would want. And he said that himself. He didn't feel like he was playing well earlier in the year. But, by God, he's back on form, isn't he?
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about, like, oh, yeah, Life's only won 7 tournaments. And he's had a bad year because this year...
He's only won 1.
Yeah, only won 1 major tournament this year. And his form...
And then you remember he's 17 still. And he's not even 18 until January of next year. It's not even like it's close or anything.
Was it legal at his age where he got that sword for the Royal Road? Is it legal to give as young a person as that a sword at that particular moment? That was. I mean, if I was Life, I'd be happy with the sword. I'd just retire with that. That was nice. I like swords.
No, he's he's a kind of an enigma, really, because he seems like he's super motivated, but when you talk to him, he seems like he's completely not motivated at all. He's got like kind of weird persona. It's fantastic. But I happen to know that it's burning really hard for him. He didn't like losing matches earlier this year, and he said right on his couch, I don't want to go back there. I knew I had to do something about it. And he's doing it. On the flip side, we've got a man who's just joined a brand new team. A team brand new to StarCraft as well. They're probably, Jim and Craig probably sitting at home in England right now watching this going, I haven't got a clue what's going on, right? But these 2 boys we've picked up, they're all right. They're doing pretty well. We're quite happy with these. It's a brilliant start for both of them, both Yoda and for First as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in the European scene, again, they're both doing quite well. And unfortunately, they actually met each other in the deciding match of WCS Europe, where unfortunately First did have to fall to Yoda, but Yoda's still in this bracket as well. So, yeah, you got to be right there. They're going to be very happy with their performance.
In terms, Kevin, in terms of the 2 players, Life. Marginally, I would imagine Starts is your favourite, but
yeah,
First is a dangerous player.
Life is definitely the favourite here, but First has shown that he's able to compete at a very high level. Most notable so far in this tournament, I think, is his defeat over SOS, taking that 2nd place spot. Interestingly, though, both SOS and First lost to Snoot, and that's
ZvP.
It's a different beast.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know how closely. I mean, you've watched both players play throughout the year. How closely would you say Snoot and Life play? Because to me, it's like poles apart. It's totally different way of play. It's almost like a 4th race when you see Snoot play. So I don't know if First really could gain too much about playing PvZ in this environment against Snoot, could he?
It's funny that you actually do bring up Snoot when talking about First, because I recall an Intel Extreme Masters qualifier where they both met, First and Snoot. And while Snoot's style doesn't directly translate to Life's, because Life is far more very, very micro-intensive in terms of his abilities, First, if he wants to flip the switch in this matchup, he can be menacing, very, very scary to deal with his timings of pushes, his harassment, his ability to draw you left and right. So First has the chops to be able to go up against Life, I feel.
Okay, prediction time, gents. Mr. Kalaris here is 100% today, so records on the line, Mr. K.
I think I missed out on Tasia Violet by 1 map. So
you did. I was talking about match results.
Oh, okay.
Overall, but you predicted them all correctly, apart from the match score being wrong in 1 game.
All right, and so I guess I would like to go with First, being a European representative in inverted commas, but
a European Korean.
I think I'm going to have to go with Life, 3-1.
All right, Kevin.
Yep, Life 3-1.
Wow, unanimous votes from the couch. Between them, 3-1 Life. Let's find out what our commentators think as we head in to what might be our final quarter-final of the day. I'll let you know after the match finishes as to how things are going to plan out. But don't forget, tomorrow we do have the semi-finals and the grand finals guaranteed live from Toronto. It's been a fabulous day. Enjoy another fabulous quarter-final.
Thanks, Paul. We are getting ready to go into Life versus First. And I mean, after all the hype of the last couple of series that we just went through, gotta say, this one is a little bit maybe less known to some of the people tuning in here. Life, of course, has had really good results, but First has been a bit under the radar, at least outside of the European scene.
That Protoss hate?
It's not.
Finally, a Protoss plays again? Just kidding. No, I'm pretty excited for this one, man. First, he's been one of those players that for the longest time has been really, really good. Was meant to win big titles. Hasn't won that many. He's won an Intel Extreme Masters before, but just one. And never really did much more than that. And I feel like he's one of those players that could definitely achieve more. And I guess it could start here with a big win over Life. And you know what? He's always had a pretty good PvZ, in my opinion. He's actually in the very qualifier for this tournament. He played in the European qualifier because he lives over in Germany. He beat Yon 2-1 and he beat Sax 3-2-0. 2 very, very impressive wins. I just rewatched those VODs and he was quite convincing in those games.
Yeah, First has been playing surprisingly well. I think if anybody that tuned into the Battlegrounds qualifiers, the Battlegrounds Global, Battlegrounds Online, First really surprised. He actually took out, I think, even MC a few times here and there, making it very deep runs in these brackets. But the Zerg players, I don't recall quite as many of the games of, and I'm excited to see this match, mostly because Life prefers, we've always known to be an active player. I don't think we're going to see any swarm host styles from him. But First, I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I guess the first map that we're looking at kind of has a general tendency merry-go-round. But we're going to have to see as we are now loaded in to our next quarterfinal. Left position, representing TCM, the blue Protoss player, he is First. So a lot of people here, man. It's been cool. Really cool. Packed crowd for the last game, and still here in the bottom position, the red Zerg player representing Team Startail with many a championship under his belt. He is Life.
These two players, they faced off. Oh, I love you too. They faced off a month ago, exactly a month ago actually, in an online tournament. I think it might have been the Dragon Invitational, and back then Life was able to win the best of 3 series 2-0. So maybe, you know, going into this with some extra confidence, already having beaten his opponents. First though, as I said, you know, he's beat some pretty good Zergs these days, and he's always had a very specific style to himself against every race. Maybe a little bit less versus Stian, but versus Zerg, I remember him using a lot of Stargate builds, and he's been going gateway openers with a gateway 13 a lot against Zerg.
So what do you like on this map then? Is First the kind of player to try to get a third base on a map where usually it's seen to be difficult versus Zerg, or is he going to be a two base? Is he going to be a two base kind of
guy? When he played against Saxury recently in the European qualifier for this tournament, he went for a 1-gate Nexus, just like he's doing now. Then he added 3 more gates. He tried to do a little bit of a pressure with some Zealots and Stalkers, but it failed. So after that, he got a Robo, a Forge, Tech to Colossus, and took a very late third on 13 minutes. But Saxry was having none of it, and he tried to go around, got a cancel on that Nexus of First, and First was like, well, since you don't want me to take a third that bad and you lost some units to make me cancel it, I'm just gonna attack and kill you. He attacked, he killed him. That simple. I feel like First, he's one of those guys who would much rather take a third, but if he's put in a position where he has to make a choice, expand from behind or attack, he's sometimes going to attack, and it's proved true in the past, and I think he's going to prove true here once again against a Life who loves to play so aggressive too.
How important is it that First has not scouted? He's getting it the last scout possible. He should be able to see the gas taken by Life, but he doesn't know that. Does he know that Zergling speed is on the way? He didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't see the hatch on the natural.
Expansion.
Yeah, he saw that there's no hatch. So right now he should already have a pretty good idea of what's going on here and that there's speed on the way. So already having a wall, I'm pretty sure he's just going to leave his Zealot there.
So, but he can't expand. So what do you do in this situation?
Oh, he can expand.
He's not worried about the Nexus getting hit by like a lot of Zerglings? Or?
Depending on what exactly he has planned, like you see he's getting the Mothership Core. I'm guessing he's going to follow that up with a Sentry because he's not spending his gas on a Stalker. So you would have to make a lot of Zerglings to get a cancel on that, and then you find yourself behind in Walkers even though you get 1 or 2 cancel. And then the Protoss from there can just expand a little bit later, be on a lot of gateway units and do a counter attack. So you know it's a little bit of a game of back and forth in regards to that, and he's actually going to drop down additional gateway. So this feels super old school. I guess he disagrees with me and agrees with you. He wants to make sure he's going to have enough ground units before he can try and attempt and take that third.
I mean, this is about as standard as it gets for the early Wings of Liberty days when you had to play on Metalopolis, and taking an expansion without 3 gateways was impossible.
The good old times. For everybody else except Protoss.
I was gonna say, it's like, I don't know if those times are really good for anybody except the Terrans. But first, off of this, what are the chances that he just goes crazy with this? Because Life is still going to try to block this until he makes a good number of units, no?
Yeah, but you see he's chrono boosting at Warp Gate, so right now First knows exactly what he has to do to make sure he has enough units early on that he can take that natural so quickly. Keep in mind, this is a best of 5. They both only got 1 single veto, and First choose to veto Catalina, whereas Life vetoed Foxtrot, which is kind of surprising actually. Foxtrot, definitely one of those maps where it's very, very hard to wall off the natural, but I guess it's also hard on Merry-Go-Round. So in the end, they ended up having to play on this. I'm pretty sure this was Life's pick. And those links, not sure. I don't think he should be able to get a cancel. He's not making more. Already getting a Road Run. I guess Life is maybe a little bit worried about some kind of gateway attack, which could come when you mass that many sentries early on in the game against Zerg. There's always going to be the opportunity to attack at some point and do a lot of damage with the force fields that you have.
Yeah, especially since he was forced to get that production up before anything else. I think the one nice thing for Life then is that if the Protoss has to make a few gates to secure the natural, then it should be difficult to get tech out too, right? So is Life concerned about the possibility, even because on this map Overlords have difficult time scouting, is he worried about follow-up Stargate play or maybe Dark Templar or anything like that?
He saw the amount of sentries, so from there it's unlikely and also almost impossible to be taking to something like DTs. Sometimes you see some Protosses pulling it off. The thing is, with this build, since there was units from so early from First, Life is not going to have any scouting capability. He has only 1 single Overlord on the map that's close to the Protoss base, and he's at the natural. So if he wants to be sure that he's not going to die to something like that, he could get a Spore blind, but I think he's convinced enough that it's not going to be happening, that he's not going to be making any spores.
All right, I can see it. +1 attack is going to start up for First. Still no tech, so to speak of, for him. And +1 Zealots, of course, we know very strong. He's going to take a couple more Simulators, though, which do lend themselves generally towards that passive style. But I like this little sentry poke because he can always recall if things get too hairy.
You know, it's so tricky to play against somebody like Life. He's such an incredible player in the sense that he makes units at any time and attacks all the time. At times he wouldn't work usually, and now it's First actually that's doing that right now. He's pressuring with sentries. He's not supposed to do much, but somehow there's nothing in Life's base. He's getting roaches out. Recall might be forced here in a second.
This feels like such a light amount of pressure, but it's doing a surprising amount of damage. Force fielding off the main ramp, and even 1 roach at a time is actually not enough to stop this. He's force fielding a bunch of these drones.
He's not doing anything here for Life.
Yeah.
He's going to have to recall, though, first. Otherwise, he's going to start losing sentries, and you never want that to happen. Those roaches, 2 of them are going to be trapped.
Pulls in a few of them, not bad at all. Not going to be able to kill any more sentries here. Of course, he's used a lot of force fields, but a good number of the sentries that came back home are still alive.
Yeah.
Life's lair is complete, so we see Roach speed started up. The Hydralisk then is on the way. And I feel, Hydralisk's very good versus simple gateway compositions. +1 attack without any Twilight upgrades, I think. Shouldn't really cut it, no?
Yeah, but I think he's going to take to +2 and blink, and then maybe take a third from there. First, he's still making probes right now.
And he starts
still
a
too early
robo,
to
too.
tell whether he wants to go for an all-in or not. He's still moving out. He has another recall. He knows there cannot be Hydralisks out just yet, but you know what? Hydralisk then is up.
Oh, some Zergling slip through, kills the sentry at the natural ramp.
That's life for you. He's always going to try to find a weakness in the defense of his opponent here and there, and he finds one now.
And he's so good at this. Forces a warp in back home in that main base. He's still actually working on a few pylons.
The force fields were messed up across the map. Oh my god, that sentry.
That sentry barely dodged. Barely dodged those roaches. Blink is on the way, so the nice thing for Life is he completely knows what the follow-up is. He sees all of the tech. There's nothing really that's being hidden from him anymore.
First he's going to go for a third base, but I don't know if he has enough gateways. At this point, he's only on 4 gateways. I think if Life makes only units from now and attacks, it's not going to be possible for First to get his next base up. And you know what? This is just going to get cancelled / abort immediately. And Life, as I said, he loves to attack. That's what he does. He attacks at times nobody else will be attacking. Look right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have burrow. He doesn't even care. He can trade those roaches for sentries and the forge as well. Nobody else will attack in this situation against sentries up the ramp. But somehow
it's so
he
seemingly
attacks.
random yet perfect.
Yeah.
And Immortal's about to finish, so it makes this a little bit trickier. But canceling +2 attack is huge. That makes those stalkers so much less effective once they get that blink upgrade.
Honestly, I watched those games from Live versus MC and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? He's literally making units at a time you never want to be making units because it's not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to build up your economy and you're going to fall behind in terms of economy. But somehow, he always finds a way. And I'm not trying to make a pun with Life finding a way, but he somehow always finds a weakness in the defense of his opponents and makes the attack work.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch him play because he doesn't like the passive styles. Dark Shrine, you're right, he's about to finish up. But
this is not expected. The thing is with Life, he always plays sort of low econ because he likes to make units more than other Zergs. And I think First might have picked up on that. He did his homework, he talked with MC, and they probably came to the conclusion that against a Zerg that's low on eco, and against whom you don't open with a Stargate, he's not going to have spores. No spores means dead drones. You just swap in DTs, you go inside of the mineral lines, and you kill drones.
yeah, Pylon just finished on the right side. First Dark Templar being warped in by First. You said it, there's no Spore Crawler at this third base. No Overseers nearby, and actually not an Overseer on the map. So a second Dark Templar gets warped in, and I believe these two bad boys should just be able to cleave into these drones.
If Life sees this quickly, though,
Warp
it's not
Prison
going to
with
do that
4
much.
Zealots, too, though. Hitting with both of these at the same time is making it really tough. Oh, wow, that's nice pickup. Nice pickup.
Shut down.
Yeah, DTs go in, and actually not gotten quite onto those drones yet. Another one's going to run to the natural. 3 Overseers are on the way, but the Dark Templar should be able to get some kills.
Yes, so far, 4 kills in total for those DTs. He needs to make sure he targets. Still no third base for First. We're at the 14th minute. He's finally got it on the way, but
I mean,
this
Life
is
has
just
so
so
much.
late. Yeah, in terms of army.
There's nothing here that can deal with the Hydralisks is the biggest problem because he has Extended Thermal Lance on the way, but he has yet to start a Colossus. Without a Colossus, even if he had a Colossus, without the range upgrade, the Hydras can get right on top of it because Life does have the Hydralisk range upgrade. He can get right on the same range as a Colossus.
He does have Blink and Force Field. You can hold much bigger armies. You know, right now it's 108 to 65. The thing is, on Merry-Go-Round, it's very hard to get good Force Fields off. And Life, he's already taking to Hive. He knows there's going to be Colossus on the way. He wants to have the counter. He's like, you know what? I'm low on eco, so the DTs did do some damage, but you're low on eco too. You're not going to be able to get Colossus plus High Templars. And now he even goes for the attack before that. He just can't help himself, man.
He just can't help himself. Well, he's going to help himself to this third base, picking that off now as he forces a cancel. The force fields are nice, but he's not really defending a position at this point. I will say that getting this nice of a choke is also cool.
Oh, the
but there's just so much. There's so much here for Life.
1 sentry is left, and he's going to die as well. Life is chasing First. Back in his base, you veto Merry-Go-Round, mate.
Well, in a best of 5, that's not that easy to do, Todd. As Life is going to step off this natural, but he has more than crippled First, who without a third base economy, it's just, at this point, way too difficult, I think, to actually fight against. What is Life moving into now? Vipers are already on the way. He's already about to have Vipers, the best counter that you can really get with this army versus Colossus. And I think you just abduct the few Colossi that are out on the map, and the game's pretty much yours.
Exactly. You're supposed to get Templars against this, but how do you get Templars when you're only on 2 bases and spending all of your gas into this Colossi here? 4 first. What a scrappy start here.
Yeah,
Life series for him.
Life is definitely showing some dominance from the very beginning of the game, really controlling what options were available at first as far as his build orders go. And now, as his +2 attack finishes, he's just feeling good. He's feeling great. I mean, +3 attack could have already been done for first if that Forge hadn't been sniped earlier.
I can't get over those attacks, man. Takes a true degenerate to go for these attacks. Like he went to going up the ramp, sniping the Forge, trading roaches. I could see Roddy go for these attacks, but nobody else really. And somehow Life always does it and pulls it off. I think first, much like in his previous games versus Saxry, where he was forced into a 2-base, he's going to do the same here. Is he actually pulling probes?
Yeah, I guess he doesn't have too much of a choice. He wants to long-distance mine that left in base, but that's not going to help because all of these probes will die, and the Vipers are coming up. It's only going to take 1 or 2 abducts. Then that's pretty much it. Getting the Mothership Core, double time warp use. There's no chance of a recall. Pulls in 2 Colossi, 1 fake Colossus. There's still a real one in the back, but with this much army supply, Life should be able to just press into this. There's no force fields available. The Guardian Shield has run out, and this army is just collapsing. He's moving through. The last Colossus steps back. 24 roaches on the way to reinforce this. 4 more Hydralisks, and I feel even if First doesn't die right here, the follow-up push should be unholdable. He has no units in production at all, and he's going to warp in just a few more Stalkers. His main base is pretty much mined out, which means there's nothing left. There's no fuel left in the tank, Todd, to continue this.
Life is just so good at making units and attacking. The creep spread might be almost non-existent, but it doesn't matter because he was fighting the whole time and he wins before that. He doesn't even need creep spread. He's not fighting in his base anyway.
Yeah.
Why would he make creep tumors?
Life plays out these games so much differently than other Zerg players, and now he moves in, abducts the last Colossus, and that's it. GG. Life takes the first game of this best of 5 here at the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto. Todd, I feel like we just saw First get bullied. You know?
Yes, he did.
He went to school, and Life was just like, give me your lunch money. Then he shows like, give me your dinner money.
The 17-year-old.
Your bus ticket home, everything.
Racketeering.
Yeah, man.
A shoulder Protoss player.
I could see him doing that.
Honestly, the DTs, at first I thought they could do good, but they didn't do all that much in the end. They just killed a few drones here and there, and it's such a huge commitment to go for them because it's pretty gas heavy. You know, Darktron is 150, and then two DTs is 250. It's just so much. And in the end, you just kill a few drones. He remakes them immediately, and then it means you're going to have less sentries than usually, less tech. We saw the Colossus getting out on the map very, very late. So I guess not the best choice in the end. I would have rather maybe if First played the same way as he did versus Saxry with just the Blink Stalkers, Colossus, making sure he got the 3rd base up. Because that Hydra is counterattack, man, on the 3rd base. Perfect timing. Before it got up, there couldn't be any photon of a charge. Force fielding in the position that First was in against Life's army, almost impossible as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's also, as you said, very heavily influenced on the map. You don't have any real easy way to take that 3rd base. It's one of the reasons why, I mean, just think about it. It works so well against a Protoss player. It works well enough that people like to use that build against pretty much Terrans with big Roach Hydra pushes on the 3rds of that map. So moving on to Deadwing for the 2nd map. This is a much better defensive. We go from a Protoss that's stuck on 2 bases to being able to easily go up to 4 bases. So I feel like the way that this game should play out is very different, but Life does still like to be very aggressive.
You know, Life, much like Linok, actually, he loves to attack and play those low economy games, and he does well in them. But exactly like Linok, he's also super strong in the late game or even in the big macro games where you have to take 4 or 5 bases. The thing is, he's gonna try to be more aggressive than other players in this situation. So now he's on a map where, as a Protoss, if you rush a 3rd base and you play it fairly safe, say, be it with a Stargate or just some quick opener with Blink and +2, it's going to be very hard to break a Protoss. Because you're going to be getting the good SimCity that can help you hold any kind of attacks, and you have the ramps also that play in your favor that you can force field very easily. So definitely a very, very different map than Merry-Go-Round that we're going to see the 2nd game on.
Yeah, pretty much everything changes when you switch from a map like that to this one. So I'm not going to be surprised to see something different. However, Life, he's a crazy guy. Let's just leave it at that. I do not expect to see the madness stop here as far as his aggressive tendencies go. We are loading in to the 2nd map. This is the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto. Hopefully you guys have been having a lot of fun watching online. We have a lot of people in the crowd here. Hopefully you guys are having fun. At least some, a little bit, maybe. I think they're kind of enjoying it. There's a lot of them here, or maybe they're just like staring at StarCraft.
They made some noise. Who's in them? Hello, Desro.
This is not a lot of community members that came out here. We had like Tempo. I know the base trade guys have been in the crowd.
Rifkin, yeah.
Good old Rifkin.
He made the sign Snootiful.
Snootiful. Only he would. Only he would. We are loaded in, guys. Welcome to Dead Wing. In the top right position, we have the blue Protoss player representing TCM Gaming. He needs 3 map wins. He is first. And little wrecked slipping in there, huh?
Not yet.
His opponent in the bottom left position representing Team Startail. One of the younger players to have lots of success in StarCraft. The Red Zerg, he is life.
First already, surprising me a little bit on a map where a lot of Protosses will play pretty greedy or sometimes do even a gateway expand. He's just gone for the pylon on the ramp and then a scout, so most likely going to be a forge expand with a quick scout to try and prevent a hatchery first. Funny to think that first, back in the old days, you know, even on Antigua Shipyard, oh yes, that map once was in the map pool. It was one of the main ones.
I missed
that. He was
map.
one of the first Zergs that, even though Cannon Rush was kind of uncounterable, was doing it almost all the time in terms of going hatch first. Extractor not being cancelled here. We're gonna have some kind of Zergling.
This looks
speed
like the
rush.
same that he did last game. Very quick 14-14 opening for fast speed. Life has this tendency, it seems, that either he goes for a very fast pool in an aggressive way in almost any matchup, or he goes hatchery first, then gas, then pull. It's just very greedy. So
Yes.
it makes him very difficult to read because it's not generally predictable which one he'll go for, but it seems to be effective either way.
You wanna try to guess exactly when speed is gonna finish
I mean,
on the clock? I'm gonna say 5 minutes on the dot.
that's about right. I think.
We'll see. We'll see.
I don't play versus this very often.
Yeah.
My 2v2 build my pool would have been done like 5 minutes ago. Come on.
I think ideally here, Life was hoping to get lucky, maybe catch a Nexus first greedy play, no scout off guard, and maybe even getting the first scout. But sadly for him, it's going to be the opposite. He was the one that was scouted, and also he's scouting the wrong way first with the vertical positions. There is a probe hidden on his man. I hadn't seen a probe hidden in a Zerg player's map since the Daybreak days.
This is the...
And those did some damage, let me tell you.
Yeah, man. This is like when you get it tucked in like this, and then you go for a quick gateway file. This is your Maximus Black probe. Boom. And then you get hit with a 4-gate without realizing it. Of course, there is an expansion, so it would be a delayed one if it were to happen.
Lots of options on what to do with this. Sometimes Protosses used to do DTs. I'm a big fan of the +1 and 4 gates with a lot of Zealots that you warp across the map. If the Zerg skipped on Roadrun, he's basically dead. Even if he has it, he's going to take some damage just because those Zealots get there so quickly. I wonder if Life's going to see it.
I mean, eventually an Overlord has to go to the northwest area, right? Like, I don't know. You want to watch in case like an Oracle or something
look at
comes
the
in,
Overlord's
no?
being made in the main now. He's going to be rallied to the natural.
Huh.
Ooh, the Lynx. If he could get in with a few of them, and it's only 4, yeah, you would lose most of them trying to run in there, so not going to even bother here for Life.
There's space to put another building there if he really needed to, right? Like if Life tried to just kill
spoiled
the probe and run in?
I'm actually surprised. If he had hit that, I think his first was too scared of maybe getting cheesed because he saw that there was speed. So he's like, well, if I go for 4-gate and hide a pylon inside of his base and he's like in front of my wall morphing banelings and I die, it would be the stupidest loss ever, and I would be down 0-2 against a player that's really, really good. So I'm not going to bother. Just going to scout for the gas. And now he did see that there was no more gas being mined.
Yeah, I mean, he
safe.
canceled speed, so he doesn't really have that mega aggressive opportunity anymore. But he could use that to get a quick glare. Like you take a build that looks as aggressive as a 14 gas, 14 spawning pool, and you just go straight for 3 bases, cancel the speed, and just mind game your opponent into being really defensive.
It's like a bomber build where he goes for factory and then you scout it and he makes 2 CCs, you know?
Yeah.
No, the build just, I guess, an adjustment that you can do. And in this game, in this game, I think it's going to be good for Life to play the mind games like this.
It's a little middle of the road, right? Because you can open up 15 pool without gas and go for 3 bases. And I think against the build that First is doing, there's not much you can do about it. Maybe if you went double hatchery, then you'd have to worry about the forge opening. But in this case, Life just he wants to keep his options open, and certainly First had to be prepared to react to the potential for him to actually commit. He does end up starting Zergling speed.
I think it's good for Life already because he's going to start taking off in terms of drone counts against the First, who for quite a bit here was in a very defensive mindset because he wasn't sure what was coming. And then I think by now he probably realized there is no speed, so he knows exactly what's up, that there was a cancel and all that, and probably Life wants to play greedy, and he chooses to go into Stargate, which, as I said before, First has always been a big fan of the Stargates. On Merry-Go-Round, he didn't use it, but it's definitely one of the worst maps, in my opinion, to use it on. Gonna be an Oracle first. He's basically guessing. He knows that there's gonna be a third hatchery up and lots of droning up, so he wants to force spores, maybe get a few drone kills here and there. Try to make sure he doesn't fall too far behind in terms of supply, and I'm guessing from there's gonna be a third base. Maybe a robo, or he can skip the robo.
I always like it though.
Look at this Life, always.
You shouldn't be able to do this.
You should just like perfect wall and stay inside of your base. It's the only way he's not gonna get in.
Yeah, man. Or you would build like a DT to build the wall so that you can't possibly get through.
Oh,
the Oracle, he has to reveal that to clean up the lings. That's not what he wanted to do. I was gonna say I really like the Oracle because it's great pressure that you can put on, and certainly even though he had to use it to defend and he's given away the fact that he has the Oracle, he's used up all of its energy.
Lots more
already.
links on the way, Nate. He's gonna try to get a cancel. He might be able to get it.
Yeah.
I think he gets it.
There's a Void Ray on the way, but the safety Void Ray can't stop this many Zerglings. That third base will be canceled, and First is stuck. Again, Life just you just can't pull anything on this guy.
It's very, very hard to make anything happen. Double additional Stargate here for First, who's gonna go into a triple Stargate SOS style, maybe. And in the meantime, we had Life obviously make some spores to make sure he's safe. He droned up like a madman. He's up to 54 against 49 probes, so not the super high number you'd like to be at just yet.
Yeah, it's certainly been an interesting series so far. Hopefully everything is okay with the equipment. Don't quite know if the players take their headsets off or anything like that.
The 1-1 started, by the way, for Life, who made the Evos. It's interesting, like most Zergs, you know, when they rush 3 bases like this, I guess in the setup it was a little bit weird, but you know, they would make 2 Evos, start some upgrades, and then later on make units. But Life did the opposite. He made units, canceled the third base, and when he saw it was going to work, he droned back up, made the Evos, and now he's upgrading.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because it's just when you play against Life, everything is always. You can't really read him the same way that you'd read a player like Hyun, right? Because Hyun will always do something maybe crazy, but predictably crazy. If he likes his Roach play, maybe he'll do some sort of big Roach attack with Burrow or Burrow move early on. But generally, he likes to head for Roach, Hydra, Viper if he needs to go to that late game. Sometimes you see the Mutalisk switch out of the Roach Ling, which is also pretty popular, but it's just not a trend that some of the more outlying players like to follow, such as Life. For the other maps that we have in this series, which ones do you like the most? Looking forward, at least for Protoss, because First is the one that's down at the moment in this series.
Yeah, I think map 3 and 5, Overgrowth and King Sejong Station, I like these standard maps that those players have the most experience on. So I'm looking forward to those, but I don't know if we'll get to game 5. I mean, Life is just looking so good. He won the first game very convincingly, and now in this second game, he's been doing work, you know.
Yeah.
It's not been resting, sitting back, droning up, like we will see a lot of players do on this map. And you know, I really thought that on this map, or I still think that it's easier than on other maps as Protoss to defend against anything. You know, Zergling run-bys and stuff. You just have to be a little bit careful. But Life, he gets some links in there, and he always manages to react properly to almost everything. It really takes like San or something to beat him in PvZ, and I'm not sure that in terms of PvZ, First is that high up there.
I mean, well, the thing is, when you're playing against guys like Life, they always find a weakness. It's not like we could just say players like Life look for weaknesses. They always find it. There's always something that they can slip in, and we saw this. Snoot tried to pull a lot of these types of maneuvers against pretty much everybody that he's also been up against. And some of the games that he played against Hero, he was able to get a lot of very good aggressive work done. But man,
I just realized we're gonna have Teja versus Flash tomorrow in semifinals. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
And Life versus First, the winner of that will play against Zest or Yoda, which should be played tomorrow. That final quarterfinals, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who comes out on top of that one because Yoda has been surprisingly impressive over the course of the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Being able to see him play in some online tournaments. Haven't seen him too much live. I've only been able to catch so many of his games this tournament.
Do you think the Protosses will go extent in the quarterfinals? I thought Protoss was OP. What's going on, Nate?
I like
Are the other
Zest.
players that much better?
This is the most baitful question I think you've ever given me, Todd. I like Zest. Zest was my second pick for this tournament. I would love, when I think about my mind how I envisioned this, as long as they're on the opposite sides of the playoff bracket, I would see Zest versus Flash in the finals. But we're back into this game, guys. Just got everything sorted out. We're back on Deadwing.
Welcome, Voidray. You get first kill on that Overlord, and I really wonder what First's plan is here. Against Zergling heavy style, it means usually there's going to be a lot of Queens on the map, and Queens are great against Void Race, at least in defense and before you get Templars and all that, or to a very late game composition, which, I mean, First he's probably not even thinking about that yet, because he just starts his third base once more at 9:49. Oh, Life is going for the surround. He might be overextending here.
Trying to pick off some of these sentries. That Void Rain Zealot going to town.
This is the one fight too much. He shouldn't have to. Oh my God, he gets into the main again.
Life just, he sees all the Stargates again, and this is not a fun place to be when everything like this gets scouted. I'm really wondering what Life wants to do to counter this, because he still has those Zergling upgrades going. He's still producing Zerglings back home. He does start up a few more Queens. I think Queens are pretty good against Void Rays once you get a good number of them.
I think he's going to start 2-2 upgrades on those Zerglings. He's getting an Infestation Pit. I'm pretty sure that's going to be for a quick hive, man. Ultralisk.
Ventral Sacks.
Yeah, interesting. Ultralisk Queen counters any kind of Void Ray composition pretty hard. Like Colossus Void Ray. Dimaga was like one of the first guys to do this a lot against Colossus Void Ray.
He's going to deny this third base again. It's getting very low.
Is
There's
he?
a lot of the
No.
Oracle's there. It's close. Yeah, canceled.
Oh my God. 11 minutes and First somehow hasn't even his third Nexus started once more after it was cancelled one more time.
And Life's taking his fourth base.
Yeah, Life needs to scout the Stargates.
Is he just going to do Zergling jobs or something?
Oh, he saw
Or is it
all
an
of the
accident?
Stargates already with the link, so
Yeah.
I really don't see how, if he doesn't mess up, I don't think he loses this ever. I'm a little bit surprised he's not making more Queens just to make sure he doesn't die to some kind of attack here and there.
+1 air weapons is on the way for First, so he really wants to commit to this.
These Void Rays now, they are moving out, and there are a lot of them. 5 against just 6 Queens, but I'm guessing with those Infestors, Life should be alright. Are they going to come out on time, though? I think that Force base could be sniped, and then we could see a recall out of First here, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm still a little bit surprised by this Ventral Sacks. I'm starting to get the feeling that Life wasn't intending to go for Overlord drops.
Yeah.
Because he has not started the Overlord speed upgrade yet.
Infestor drop.
Oh, Nidus Network.
Whoa.
Well, I mean,
Life has been known to use Nidus even more so than a lot of other jugs. Back in Intel Extreme Masters New York, which he won against Naniwa in finals, he was using Niduses very, very well. And remember on Basher Vestige, all the Niduses that went up against the Void Ray heavy style, actually.
Yeah.
He made a lot of Queens, a lot of
well, Queens are slow,
Infestors.
right? Queens are slow.
Yeah.
A really great way to get across the map is with a Nidus Swarm. It's
Especially on a big map like this, in terms of cross position.
That's your Zerg Warp Gate, baby. You get all those Queens over there.
Nidus is the Zerg Warp Gates, Nathanias 2014.
He's up to 9 Queens. He's got 2 more about to finish up. Why can't
Fungal
I
could
teleport
hit
across
this.
the map?
Oh, you can with Medak Boost. The
Not
Infestation
quite
Pit is
as
going to be saved. Fleet Beacon is on the way.
That's an important save.
What
but
is he
Nidus,
thinking?
the Nidus Worm is about to pop. It's right. It's done right outside that
as
third
soon
base.
as the Queens are out, he's going to get transfused forever. And now the Infestors are already out. I don't know if First is ready in terms of army supply. We're at 60 against 79. He's up the ramp with lots of sentries that don't really do much against this.
Yeah, he needs those Void Rays back home.
He needs to recall now. He's flying back.
Infested Terrans are being thrown on top of the wall. Lots of cannons being warped in. The Void Rays gonna try to fight. Yeah, he's not willing to recall. I guess he wants to have all that energy available for Photon Overcharge. I mean, the Void Ray's not quite in range yet. The first Fundal hits. Fundal's not really what does the trick against Void Rays, though.
Well, I mean, if you can chain Fungal, but he used a lot of energy on these Infestors to use some Infested Terran. Transfuses need to go down here for Life. The Queens are not being targeted. The Roaches are going to fall very rapidly. He still didn't recall with the rest of his army.
Some of these queens are dying life,
gonna
not
counterattack.
focusing on the transfuses as much.
First, he's confident, he's positive, he's going to hold back at home, but I don't think he is. He's going to counterattack. Maybe he's going to buy time with the sentries and try and kill life back at home, at least in his natural with the Void Rays.
Yeah, well, those Prismatic Alignment kills Spore Crawlers very quickly, and he's just going to town on these drones at the third base of life. More sentries being warped in, 2 Void Rays being built at a time, 20 Lings and 3 Queens in production. Life doesn't have a crazy amount of Queens back at his own base, but I guess he can always try to retreat using that Nidus Network.
I think first he's trying to do as much damage as possible and then recall, and he's going to recall now. Life needs to be careful if those units get forced to the snipes.
There's only 5 Queens. He actually needs to get the rest of them from his main base back over there. He has a total of 11. These Roaches, though, they're going to have a hard time with this much firepower. There's 9 Void Rays here for first. Absolutely eradicating this. He needs to get the rest of his army out.
Is he doing this somehow?
Oh, he force fields in some of these Queens. A couple of these actually had enough energy for multiple transfuses and life. He's got to back up. He gets into his escape pod, the Nidus Network, and he's going to go home.
Did any of the Void Rays die? It feels like no one of them died. He still has so many Void Rays alive. 10. 10 Void Rays.
This is a pretty gnarly amount of Void Rays against 9 Queens.
And he's getting 2 more.
Yeah, Life is building 3 Queens at a time. More Infestors, I definitely agree with. The +2 missile attacks will help those Queens against the Void Rays.
I don't know why he
first gets a 4th base.
Why did he go Fleet Beacon? Maybe he was scared of Mutas. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe he wanted to make sure he could get range if he had to.
+2 weapons as well for flying.
Yeah, I guess. Usually when you do this style, you just get a bunch of Void Rays, you get +1, and you leave it at that. You go into Charge Loss, Templars, Archons, and then you do the transitions you have to. 2 Carriers are going to start, Nate.
Oh, boy.
It's time.
He's building carriers, and there's not a giant Swarm Horse force. That's usually the only time I've seen players crazy enough to do this.
You know, the hold was good enough for him to take into carriers, and if it's not expected, this could do a lot.
Yeah.
Life right now is going into an Ultralis Cavern. I don't think he realizes.
Queens are okay versus Void Rays with the fungal, but
if they're interceptors.
If they're interceptors, that messes up the AI an incredible amount. How many carriers does he need? I know this is probably not a situation you have to analyze too often, Todd. How many carriers does first need to hold a push or make a big push?
As many as possible. I think up to 6 and more. 6 and more, I think he'd do really well. But
6 carriers is magic
he's getting a little bit cheeky. He doesn't have a recall yet. He could get fungal. Oh my god, 90 energy on that Mothership Core.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting counterattacked with Roaches.
Those Infestors are too far away.
Yeah, they're not
oh my
quite
god,
close
if they had been there, he could have killed everything.
Imagine if these Zerglings got into his base and saw that he was building carriers.
What do you think would happen? He'd have like a cardiac arrest or something.
And, I mean, yeah, we'd probably have to have another pause to make sure he's all right. First carrier is out on the map. He has carriers. We do not see these very often. This is a good time to cheer. You may not see it again in this tournament.
Carriers arrived. 2 more on the way. The +2 attack on the way as well.
Ultralisks.
Kaitinus plating and 8 Ultralisks against carriers. I don't know, Nate.
With +2, you know, carriers have some of the highest damage output of any unit in the game. They rely on like a lot of low power
he's
damage.
He's gonna have to recall. And you know, if you recall when fungal has already been used, you still take the damage. So he needs to make sure he does that on time, and he's gonna do just that. Just losing the shields on all of his Void Rays. A few hit points on some more. This Nidus, I feel, has to be all in here.
This is the Nidus. This is going to be the attempt to end the game, Nidus.
How many carriers he's going to be on? 6, actually. 6. There you go.
Oh, there you go. The 6 carrier timing is real, Todd.
But they do take a lot of time. 120 seconds. He needs to Columbus those.
Not all of them have all their interceptors, by the way. The last one that was just made only has 4. All these carriers that come out will only have 3 interceptors. And I also believe... Okay, never mind. He did get Graviton Catapult, which is very important.
Life getting in position to siege
that
base.
Queens. What's gonna?
I'm not sure that first should take the fight yet. Maybe you can just cancel that base and.
My eyes are going to be on the picture of Life's face when these carriers show up too.
Let's see.
Yeah, kill my fourth
he's just gonna
base.
cancel. I like this choice because he still had some carriers in production. He still has enough money to max out, and it's really in the surprise that his army is going to be strong. First, needs to make sure it doesn't clump up.
All right,
oh my God.
interceptors are coming out. First carriers and Life, man. It's like, well. It's like,
his star just dropped.
Yeah, his mouth was open for a second. He's like, what is this? Fungal's a lot of the Void Rays, but these carriers...
There's no recall.
The interceptors are drawing fire from the Queens. He actually loses some of his high ground vision.
There's just enough DPS to chase everything away. All the infestors died. Look at that boy stuck in the middle.
Oh my
Life
goodness.
is getting chased down.
Death by carriers, Todd. It's actually happening. And these 6 carriers, they are doing work. 3 more on the way. A switch. This is it. This is the big chance for Life. 21 Mutalisks.
is his choice of poison. But this is not. This isn't enough.
Against +2 air units, Carrier's Void Race, a fleet beacon already being made. I don't know that it's the right choice.
I mean, he could get Anion Pulse Crystals and switch into Phoenix super fast.
Even if he could, I guess if he could make like something like 45 mutas maybe, but no, it's just 25. And I say just 25. 25 is still a lot. Do you think 25 mutas can fly inside of this army and kill it?
I want to think no, but everything I've heard on the internet says carriers are really bad. But apparently, they're able to beat that entire army of Queen Infestor. He's just going to try to abuse the mobility. He has to abuse the mobility, right?
Yeah.
How slow they are?
That's what he's going to do. There is a recall available, but if you recall inside of mutas, you're going to lose a lot immediately, and then they're just going to get away.
Yeah, he attacks
Range starts for the Phoenixes. First already knows.
The left side base gets hit by first. He's going to pick this one off. There's a couple more hatcheries there, but depowering the Stargates, very good focus.
There is a carrier doing a 1 versus 3 at the force base.
Yeah, it's these carriers, man. They do have a lot of hit points. The Mutalisks will kill them slowly, but once you get enough of them, that's when things get really tricky.
Still no recall by first.
Yeah. Carriers also have like a base 2 armor, so since +1 Mutalisk attack was never researched, they actually do kill the carriers slowly when they're fighting in even numbers.
First knows that if he just recall now, Life would just fly around for a long time, so he's trying to deal as much damage as possible, and I think he's just gonna save his last base. The thing is, he could lose his targets. He's trying to repower one of them right now.
If life takes this, I'm actually gonna be really blown away because I feel like this army. I feel like if you get this many carriers, they should. The game should be like victory condition reached.
Completed the golden armada, you win.
Exactly. You have summoned Exodia. Well played.
What is going on? First still not recalling. 102 army supply to 54. Life up. I guess he just lost a bunch of mutas just now, just trying to take out those cannons and all, because he's down to 17.
Yeah, life supply is dropping really fast. And he needs, the biggest goal, you said it, you just don't let him get Phoenix out because he just has so much. These Void Rays are going to pick off the Ultralisk Cavern. First really wants to tie this series up. I feel like they should be able to do it. He's taking out the natural expansion of life during all of this. He has depowered all of the Stargates, so he cannot produce any more Phoenix, but I do believe he already has Phoenix range. So what few Phoenix he has first should be able to use to clean up any of life's Mutalisks. And like I said, there's just no way that the number of mutas on the map right now can actually kill. 11 mutas are not going to beat 5 carriers.
Life/chance is a full-on base trade to basically eliminate first on the map. First, who's down to 28 probes. Most of those are in the main on one of the assimilators, but I don't think first would ever let that happen, especially having the recall that he has.
Yeah. Is it? I feel like the damage output from this army just isn't enough to actually kill it all in time. At some point, it will cross First's mind that he should recall, and then he'll recall and kill everything.
You think? I don't think the spores changed anything here, even though he has some queens to transfer.
Interceptors aren't cheap. Actually, First can't replace any of his interceptors. Some of these carriers aren't even attacking. He doesn't have any interceptors.
Oh, he lost all of them.
Yeah. These
so
carriers,
it's just the Void Race.
The carriers completely drained his bank. They're useless.
He's fighting against the spores and mutas at the same time. Life trying to make this happen still. The Phoenix is helping.
Void Rays are still good with the +2 attack versus those.
Oh my god, I can't believe he cannot make interceptor. He needs to long distance mine the natural, but I guess there are links there.
He has 3 interceptors on 1 carrier
My spores is being made on the left-hand side by Life. What is going on?
What the? What? Todd?
First,
I'm out of words.
First has 5 Void Rays and a Mothership Core attacking. The Phoenix is chasing down the mutas, but the Zerglings are gonna go into contest it for the longest time.
Life's gonna win this game. Those carriers are completely useless. I don't know what he just did, but he got some money. He's gonna build 5 more interceptors, but there's no way he can kill 17 spore crawlers. Not in this universe, unless he uproots all of them. But he's going to put him back down. It's okay.
I don't think the Void Race can kill all of these spores. You're right. How does he win here? He could go back home, but then Life is mining and First is not.
The carriers ran out of interceptors.
There you go, guys. You got carriers.
That's why you don't build carriers. You get into a base trade, and then you have no money.
9 interceptors are up, Nate.
9.
And I don't know that they're going to be enough.
I don't know, Todd. It's not looking all that good.
Phoenix is still trading against the mutas.
The Zerglings will eventually kill everything because he spent his whole bank on interceptors.
If you had more Phoenixes, you could have taken out the mutas, picked up all the Zerglings, and killed them, and maybe won. Maybe it's still possible.
I mean, he's trying. He's working his way through.
Oh, he's gonna get the hatchery.
The hatchery. Yep. Are these actually the last buildings?
The Phoenixes, man. It comes down to the Phoenixes. They have to be the two heroes.
There's still enough resources for Life
He
to try
needs
to
to
build units
kill
elsewhere.
all of the Mutas, not lose. If he loses one Phoenix, he lost for sure. Because then he can pick up the Zerglings and kill them.
Oh man, this is scary close. Phoenix have actually lost most of their shields. Only take 1 or 2 more volleys. Life looking away for a second. Very close. He's so close to killing one.
It's only one Muta. He's gonna kill it and kill all of the Zerglings, I think,
That's not
slowly.
enough. Send a Void Ray back and kill these Zerglings. Again,
Oh my
Life, if
God.
Life has no standing forces, he can't do it. Yeah, no,
First is still winning.
he's just gonna pick up all the Zerglings and kill them.
And Life is remaking a hatchery on the left-hand side next to his spores.
This is one well tucked in hatchery. It's gonna be very comfortable and warm at night.
The
might
Zerglings
be
are
even-
now all dying.
Yeah.
There's how many Zerglings? There is no Zerglings left. 16 drones for Life. This is it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, 2 zealots.
Unbelievable.
These zealots have upgrades too, right?
Where did they come from? You forgot about them somewhere or
You
what?
just forget you have 2 zealots. You just forget that you pretty much won the game. Oh yeah, guess what? There's no more creep here too, Todd. That means if this by the time this hatchery is done, all these spores actually lost like 10% of their life.
Doubling out.
Yeah, there's no creep.
Zealots
Buildings
against drones. Begin.
You know what? This is not the battle I thought I would cast at 30 minutes. So,
They're trying to get the surround, but they're not gonna get it. He's trying to go back to have the
these
the
spores,
units
these
covered.
spores are all like half dead now.
Yeah.
Here's what you do: you put the carriers in front, let them soak up some of
You
the
could just
damage,
put
and then have
Zealots
the
in
Void
mid-
Rays kill everything.
in middle of the spores.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's Zealots against drones like happening, and this is the deciding fight of this game somehow.
It wasn't meant to be like this, Todd. Not like this. Okay, so the drones up. They get the surround. Oh, the Void Ray back up. Well, that just, I mean,
I mean, how can Life possibly win this?
with 5 empty carriers.
4 Void Rays still alive, but there are too many spores for them to go in. I guess he could go in, snipe a spore at the time and then pull back, but it's just so risky since they're well grouped up. The drones not doing well here.
Trying to kill one of them zealots. The carrier's just sitting there like, okay. It's like,
Did you see that? The Zealot just...
it's like, look, if I win this intense 2 zealot versus 11 drone
Those
battle.
Void Rays have so many kills. One of them has 49.
I think the zealots actually have +1 shield, so I think there's no reason that you attack until the zealots get all their shields back, because the drones
Yeah.
are only doing like 4 damage a hit now. No, grabs one. Ah.
Okay, gets stuck a little bit here. He might lose that one, but he's gonna trade it maybe against one of the drones.
Yeah, he's not gonna go down easy. Okay, Void Rays. Whoa! Watch out! Watch where you're stepping.
That's Zealot, man.
This
What is this
zealot.
game? What the hell?
I'm not sure.
Look at the drones. They're like trying to do something. Oh, he's gonna lose a Void Ray here.
Oh, that's-
First. I think if he loses that Zealot,
You know,
he
he
can
did-
still lose.
You know, I was wondering if.
Oh
he
my
had
god, the
ever-
drones are so low on hit points. Life keeps on losing more and more of them.
Oh my god, he loads him into the Overlord. Is this gonna be like some sort of drone drop harass on this Zealot?
A drone
Is
drop
this-
on top of his
is
Zealot.
it gonna be like Zealot runs into the middle of the
What-
spores and he just surrounds him like the drone hit squad comes
While
out of
the
nowhere?
carriers observe the entire fight. Ooh, try to go for the surround. Zero interceptors, man. Those carriers are so useless.
I can't handle this.
Take it away, Nate.
So
That's
the
Zealots, man.
Zealots over
He should
here
just
just taking
pull
a
back.
couple of swings at these
Yeah.
drones. Look, he kills one.
I mean, realistically, what is Life gonna build anytime soon? Nothing. He should just pull back, let the shield regenerate entirely, and then go back in again.
yeah. Well, Life is actually building drones, and he's building them at a
Yeah, but I
faster
mean,
rate
he's not
than.
gonna build Zerglings. He doesn't have a pool. He's not gonna build Quints. He doesn't have a pool. He's not gonna take 2 layer. He has no money.
The real question is, at what point does First just say screw this and attack? And I think it's right now.
Yeah.
Okay, he's moving in with the Void Rays. Some of these guys unburrowed. There are only 3 Void Rays at this point.
The spores are not well placed enough. Life is now not mining anymore.
Once again, I reiterate, there are no
Oh my
more
God.
interceptors. There are no interceptors. These carriers are for show only.
1 hit point on that Void Ray. Oh, he moved it close enough to maybe attack
Oh,
it.
gets one.
Goodbye, Spore.
He kills another
How many
Spore.
drones? He's down to 4
Eats his
drones. I think the
drones.
Zealots can just fight and kill them.
Yeah, I think so. This one Zealot, this is the most important Zealot ever built, I think, in StarCraft right now. Oh, he gets
he gets the
surrounded! Oh, walking through a dark alley, and there's drones everywhere. He slips through. He's trying to run. He's caught up in a corner.
he's gonna get away.
The Zealot's dead. One drone left. One drone.
It's
Life.
not enough.
Life has enough. Yes, but this one drone is the most important drone.
Oh my god, he loses another Void Ray.
One
Is this
Void
game?
Ray.
But there's no drone.
I don't know how one Void Ray kills all of this.
Is that a draw?
No. He has a drone, right? Eventually, he can long distance mine from the other side. Look at this.
Are you kidding me?
You know, people like to joke about being the last person left on planet Earth. This is the last drone on Deadwing. He has the potential to rebuild everything.
They may agree to a draw here. Yeah, Life is asking about a draw.
I don't know.
He doesn't want to mine for like hours. And I mean, if the Void Ray just goes over there, and there is a Phoenix also scouting, so I don't think that drone will mine for too long.
I guess he just doesn't want to mine for 5 hours.
But I guess no, he could have brought the spores to the left, so it's going to be a draw, guys. After agreeing.
With one Void Ray, I think he could have covered the mid. I guess he just didn't want to sit here for 5 hours.
Yeah, if he moved the spores, I guess, to the left, then he could have mined maybe with the one drone on that very base.
I don't think one Void Ray kills 5 spores that you move.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Life could have won still. But again, it's easy to talk when we were just watching. That Void Ray was a very angry one with +2 attack. Could have just maybe sniped one spore where he tried to get in position and then gone for the snipe again. And by the time you reach units as Life, starting from only one drone, not 4, not 6, not 5, I'm guessing all the spores maybe could be dead. You can even like tank the first shot of a spore by sending the carrier in. So, oh man, that Zealots. Can you believe that? Like what a weakling that Zealot was. Like he let us he let us down and he let first down. It would have been a win.
He
just had to kill the drones. That's all he had to do. Pull back, make sure the shield comes back, and then win the game.
Just imagine if you have like an armor upgrade on that Zealot. If you got armor upgrades at all during this game, the Zealot just doesn't take damage from the drones and can just kill them pretty easily. You know what I mean?
So you think he could have foreseen the situation and get an armor good, Nate, or what?
You know what? The counter to that argument is that he wasn't going for a ground-based army anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
he wasn't going for that ending.
My head still hurts after that one, Todd.
Zealot versus Drones All-Star. We saw it happen.
Oh, man. So
we're back on Deadwing.
Next map's Deadwing. We're ready for game number 2 of this series, Todd.
What do you think? Is he going to play completely differently? I feel there is a good chance. He's going to try to play that differently. Life is Life. He just makes units and attacks, so not going to be too different in that regards. But Life really had a good start. And like for most of the game, I really thought he was going to win. It's really that Nidus, which at first looked like a good idea and then was defended. That's set him quite far behind, I guess.
Yeah.
How did all the carriers lose the interceptors? Was it from spores?
They're from the spores, man. There were a lot of spore crawlers. And it's nice that
not that many. Like on the base that he attacked.
No. At the natural and the third base, there were a ton of spores.
Man, interceptors are so
trash.
And
the thing is, in normal circumstances, for example, when you're playing a 4v4, you want to make sure that your carriers are auto-rebuilding interceptors because that's all you're building. But in a game of 1v1, when you need something other than carriers and interceptors, having them set to auto-rebuild the interceptors that are lost can prevent you from doing things like building another base when you're in a base trade.
Man, that's Zealot.
That's Zealot.
The Rotty Zealots.
Like there was
the YOLO Zealot.
There were
just went in and died.
Many people. There were so many hopes depending on that one Zealot.
And he lost the battle, man. He was the last of its kind on the ground, at least, and then the drone survived. Still just a little bit surprised that Life went for the draw, and he was even the one who asked.
I think it's a case of Life not being sure what he had. Maybe Life was assuming that there were maybe some firepower in those carriers, and he just figured that First wouldn't attack him because he first wasn't sure if he could break the spine.
Just a single Void Ray and a Mothership Core. Do you think? Like, no way. You can, even against one spore, like, how much damage can you do?
There is no way a Void Ray and a Mothership Core kill 15 spore crawlers. No.
I don't think you respect the Void Ray quite enough. Because at least I have my doubts,
you know.
You know?
There are people who respect the Void Ray, but I don't think there's any air unit in the game except for a Battlecruiser because it has 10 range on Yamato or a Broodlord that's going to kill that many spores. It just doesn't work like that, man. I guess maybe Tempest.
Point taken, Nate.
It's just not that easy.
All right, we're back on Deadwing. You guys ready for game number 2?
They are ready for the second game of this series. So the straight answer I would give you is that if there was a way he could fight each spore one at a time, he could attack it for like 1 second, back off, and then regenerate his shields and attack. Because the shield regeneration for Protoss is faster than the hit point regeneration of the Spores.
Yeah, and there was creep spread. Imagine if there was no creep spread on the map and he sniped the hatch, everything would bleed out.
Yeah, that would be a really sad way for that to end. Actually, well, yeah, that would have done it. All right, guys, we are in game number 2, the redux of First versus Life. Our first player in the bottom left position. I've already said his name twice, from TCM Gaming. He is First. And his opponent spawning in the top left position. I guarantee he's not expecting carriers this game. From Team StarTale, he is Life.
Nobody expects carriers, Nades. Nobody ever expects carriers. That's why they're so good. Or are they?
I will say, in all fairness, that I'm pretty sure most people think that carriers are bad to build for reasons other than them sucking your economy completely dry.
Yeah.
Because carriers actually take so long to build that most people agree that they're technically cheap as far as like the cost versus production time goes.
I don't know if I would go that far, but
you can
I understand what you're trying to explain.
You understand the math behind why it's affordable to go two Stargate carrier.
First, he's already going to be opening very differently in this game. He's went for the pylon in his main, so I think we're going to have a Nexus 15 or 16, then most likely a gateway in the main. And he's playing the mind games, man, and Life playing differently as well. You know, ideally, Life in the previous game would have liked to catch first off guard with the build that he's doing now, but now they both are playing different and kind of greedy. You know, hatch first, I think it's going to be a double hatch before pull as well here for Life. And usually when he does that, I don't think he gets gas with it. You know, some Zergs, they do double hatch and then gas and then pull, but Life, I feel like the few times I've seen him do that, it was double hatch, then just pull, and no gas for a while.
Yeah. This, I mean, Life likes to have his early speedlings. We've noticed a strange trend where Life seems to be very difficult to keep out of your base when it comes to Zerglings. He's always going to find a hole in the wall somewhere that he can slip through. And that second hatchery is on the way. So it's going to be full econ, at least, for the start of this map.
Yeah, should be the pull following up as predicted. And Life, when he opens with 3 bases like this, he takes a double gas pretty quickly, depending on what happens, what he scouts and stuff. I think one of the games that he played against MC on Overgrowth, he opened the same way, but then there was a Zealot harassing him, so he took double gas at around 640, and then from there went into Roaches, Hydralisks. Interestingly enough, he made the Hydra then same time as the Mutas, but didn't use same time as the Spire, sorry. Didn't use the Spire for the longest time. He went for some Roach Hydras, did his thing, attacked, and then later on made the Muta transition, which killed MC. So could be seeing something similar here, which again, first lives with MC. I'm sure they talked about these games, so he's gonna know kind of what to expect. I mean, if I know, surely he should know.
Yeah, of course, then. So how do you like the spawns on this map, then? Because we don't quite have the cross situation going on. Does that make it easier or more difficult to do these early pushes, like with the Roaches, for example, or the, you know, I doubt we would see it again, but the Nidus play?
I feel like it's not that different, to be honest. It depends what you're playing against. You know, like obviously if it's Swarmos, it's going to be more difficult because the Zerg not only has the Watchtower, but he has a shorter distance. So that's why usually if you're a Zerg player and cross map, you're going to be less motivated to go into Swarmos. But here, it's not really relevant because Life, I don't think I've ever seen him make a single one. He must have taken a vow or something.
Maybe he's probably made the accidental swarm host on when people get excited and pressing that attack key. But yeah, I agree.
First wants to go for a very quick third, by the way. He has a probe there. He's already started to walk on a wall off with a pylon there. Playing it pretty risky for somebody.
For someone that got his third base at like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The first time around, I don't know if I can say last game.
For somebody who got so many bases cancelled, but I guess since he went for the scout and saw there was no gas, he knows there's not going to be any link speed annoying him in this game. And look, double gas went up before the 6 minute this time for Life. So I think he's going to want to look to add a Roachhorn, and then from there, played fairly standard, you know, some tech here and there, maybe some Hydras, maybe a Spire.
So what can Life actually do to this then? Because first we'll have a very fast wall in this third base.
Yeah.
He's much less vulnerable than he's been at any point throughout this series.
He can be very greedy, but just make sure he has the production facilities and larvas to defend some kind of a push. Because usually when you rush a third base like this, a good thing to do is to do an attack with it. Because you get the gateways in your wall, you're going to make a lot of sentries, and then you just strike with the mothership core. You have enough energy for a recall, which we've seen first actually really insisting on in terms of making sure he's across the map and making something happen when he has a lot of energy on his sentries or mothership core.
Lair is on the way for life. Zergling speed too.
Ooh, going up to 6 gases here already.
Is it fast mutas or
feeling
is it like
the mutas,
Hydra
man.
lane?
Usually fast mutas is not that great. Then again, against that quick of a third, it can be very good. So as much as is possible, I still personally prefer, or in my case, I hate more to play against something like roaches into mutas, which is something like, for example, a player like Bly does very often. But even though you know it's coming and somehow you sense it's gonna come, it's very hard to counter. Just because in terms of base trading and stuff, it's very difficult to deal with. And once the mutas out, everything changes.
What about this hallucinated Phoenix Scout getting in? He's seen almost all the gases, and it looks like he should be able to scout the gases being taken at the third base as well.
It doesn't tell him all that much, though. Like you can't be sure. Like there could be a Spire hidden on the map. Now there was just a Hydralisk den made so far as take goes, which he didn't even see. He knows that there was no road run. Right now he could be thinking, well, you know what? I saw one Evo, I probably missed the Infestation Pit. It might be Swamos, then again he's against life, you know, we've covered that. So first should be looking to try and scout a lot more, just to make sure he knows what's up here. And especially what units come out, which is about to be some Hydralisks.
Yeah, I mean, Hydroling, I always like to see. It can be used very actively. You need a couple upgrades before those Hydras are really useful. However, we're seeing once again this little shove. We saw this in the first game of the series.
That move out is great against Roaches, but against Hydras, you can lose your mothership core very fast and then you lose everything on the ground. So first, he's going to have to be so careful here. He still has no ideas. Okay, he saw the Hydra then, he sees some Hydras coming out. But if he stays there too long and somehow messes up, he's going to be in trouble. Life is going for it.
Yeah, he gets this around. The Hydras are force fielded out.
He's just going to force field them away.
Not actually using
good reaction.
Yeah, I mean, he ends up, I don't think he lost anything there,
I got worried here, man.
Maybe just one unit, maybe one sentry, I guess.
How many times did I get my mothership core sniped and lost the game right there? Too many times.
There's a lot of pain in your voice when you say that, Todd.
Yes, there is. Only Hydralisks being made right now for life. No more drones. He cuts at 72, which is still a pretty high number. Going for the macro hatch now. So I guess this does not necessarily mean he wants to commit to an attack. He could if he wanted to. But I guess he just wants to make sure that he's going to be okay. And I mean, it's life. He's probably going to attack anyway. Look at this.
Yeah.
Moving towards the wall here. Might even go up that one.
Life knows that Colossi are pretty far off, but this wall isn't really attackable since there's 2 photon cannons.
30 Lings on the way, by the way, for life. No more drones. So he
do you really think he can break this, though, with this many sentries?
I'm not sure. And look at the placement on first. Up the ramp in a concave. He's ready to force field from right to left. And if life goes up that ramp, actually he has an overseer, so he's going to get some good vision.
Yeah, he steps forward. I mean, the force fields are looking all right so far. A couple of these Hydras still able to attack. They don't have the speed upgrade, so they're
very good trade.
Pretty difficult to maneuver in this situation.
Very good trade for first, but he's running out of force fields. Life is going to get in there with another wave. He's committing to this attack. Even more double cannons up the ramp.
Yeah.
What? Double target?
Oh,
not
goodness.
again. Come on.
I don't want to believe it, Todd.
No.
And enduring locusts.
He's going into... Oh my... What is going on?
It's happening.
He's going into Colossus first, and he wants to get Void Rays behind us in support.
It's going to be Colossus Void Ray, right? It's not going to be the other thing.
It's not great against Swamos and Sports and static defense, but again, Life is not really the Zerg that's known to go into this too much.
I think after that last re-game, they've just completely lost their minds.
It's time to go for another draw, Nate.
Please, no. Hive is on the way for life. 5 swarm hosts in production, so he'd not accidentally start that upgrade. He's got 6 of them coming in now. And the first Colossus is on the map. So starts up another one as Warp Prism hits this 4th base. Not really much laid down here. Not very secure just yet. And actually going to kill a couple Hydras, which is always nice. These Hydras are camping the bottom of that mineral line, by the way, in the 3rd.
Ooh, there is no Overlord in the main. Well placed to see that Warp Prism. He first was to warp in some units, but Life is on top of things, though. He sends some Hydras in the main. Probably gonna check that here in a second. Hive, I think Life... I'm not sure if he wants to commit just yet to Swamos. He's gonna go up to 12 at least. Could cut there, but the Hive is definitely for Vipers. He could cut at 12 on the Swamos and then go into something like Ultras, which wouldn't really be expected, but since he's getting missile attacks level 2, he might actually want to play with a Swamos and just ranged units in general, heavy style. Still,
Yeah.
still no road run, by the way.
Zealot
from
drop
Life.
on top of these Hydralisks. We'll be able to pick them off. This is where Prism's getting ready to warp in, and he's going to see
big warp in.
his
He's gonna
side
try to
finish
get the hive.
potentially.
I think he's gonna try to get a hive, and he might be able to get it. The units were pretty far away.
Oh, there
my
are
God.
some swarm hosts here. Locusts are coming out. Zerglings are coming out. The
It's gonna be
hive
close.
itself is dropping pretty low
he
with these
turns around.
Hydras. With these Hydras here, there should be
Yeah.
more than enough to stop this
Turn
attack.
around and fight the Zerglings here, thinking he couldn't get it.
Vipers are on the way now, and Life, he's maxed out.
Yeah.
So where does he want to go from here? He could, I guess we could see him just add on a ton of static defense,
Yes,
right?
that's
go
what he
full
needs to
snoot.
do. Yeah, he needs to make sure he doesn't take any damage, especially in the main. You know, the main's very vulnerable. If you send in a warp prism with 4 zealots and then you warp in a lot of additional ones, you're gonna snipe the hive. A lot of key buildings. And you look, spine quarters going up in the main already. Life is on top of things. Man, I did not expect to see a game like this out of Life.
No, I know this is a very different style for him. He starts up a Spire, so potentially we could see him switch later on into some Mutalisks.
I really like the choice of first off not getting Void Rays, by the way, in the first place, which now he's making some. I'm not sure why. It's very good though that he started +3 as soon as he did, as well as charge, because having that is going to change everything in terms of charge loss, war prism harass, base sniping, you know, getting the Templar Archive behind this, knowing there are Vipers as well.
It makes those Zealots a lot stronger too. Takes his interestingly placed base on the right side of the map.
Yeah. I think he knows there might be like Zerglings or Overlords on the bottom right-hand side on the usual base.
Look
that you
at
would take
this.
on
He's
the
like,
left.
I'm taking a ninja base, so I probably should scout for
Wow.
other hidden bases. And he
First
finds
found
it.
that.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Good game sense. Oh, Life is actually going to go for a big siege here. Moving to the middle of the map. I guess he has the static defense in the main now, so he feels confident enough to move down there.
Yeah, I do like this. This Stalker's trying to fight against some Lings. The 4th base of first. He can't really defend it with this much, zoning him out.
First needs Templars, by the way. He still has 0 Templars. Oh, Guardian. Greater Spire, sorry. He's going to be made here by Life. I think he wants to go into Broodloss, obviously, but since there is no Fleet Beacon, this could be good. But if it's spotted and he makes
And then he
some
makes,
of
then
those
he makes a Fleet Beacon.
against Tempest,
And we get some Tempests out, and the game goes back to the
Oh, that
skies.
siege is so strong. At first, he's stuck in his base. He cannot recall out and counter-attack, and he doesn't have any kind of counter-attack going for him now. So even Corruptors being made in prevention just to be able to make Brood Laws as soon as possible are going to help against this Colossus.
Life is getting Overlord dropping. Again, he didn't use it in the last game, except, I guess, to...
With a drone.
Well, he ferried some drones out. Some slow Overlords ferried some drones out.
Hey, look, this time if he gets attacked, he could start evacuating as soon as possible.
Well, this time, a Zealot with +3 attack would actually be able to kill 7 drones.
Would it?
He only had +1 the last game, I believe.
Oh, he had +2. I think, no? Oh, yeah, he had +1, you're right.
So
And
the
this siege...
Greater Spire is about to finish, and he has Corruptors, so
I get a feeling the Mothership Core is about to die here.
Is this going to be some Swarm Host Broodlord action now?
Yeah, I think so. I think Life right now knows that Broodlords are not going to be expected.
Well, there's the Fleet Beacon. He's caught on to this. Like, why do you have
Yeah,
Corruptors?
I don't think he's going to be on time. The Greater Spire is already up. He's about to morph in the Broodlords. Where's the Corruptors? I guess they went back
no,
for
yeah,
the...
they were all back home to kill the
Life
Warp Prism.
needs to be faster about this. Trying to retake a base on the top right-hand side of the map. Why is first getting Void Rays? I'm not sure. I don't think it's a good choice here. They don't do that well against any kind of late-game composition Zerg has at this point.
I mean, I guess if, without Queens here, right, there's not any static defense to this army. If Broodlords were to actually come out here, then the Void Rays would kill those pretty fast. There's not
but on
anything
the
here
ground,
that kills
yeah.
Void Rays, to be fair, with this army.
I think his Void Rays are dumb. They're going to be attacking the Locust, man.
Well, I mean, how long ago could he have just sent... Okay, now there's Hydras with this army again, but...
Ooh, on the top right-hand side, some Zealots are fishing for a base, and I
That
think they're going to be
4th
sent.
of life, by the way, is really low on hit points. He has 64 hit points on it, so I think these Zealots could just... Yeah, I think he's just going to right-click on this.
There is a
kill
Warp
Ash.
Prism in the main, by the way. That went unspotted for a long time. Ooh, Zergling run by. Typical Life here. And he's going to lose a lot of probes first here, reacting a little bit slowly. He's warping in units one by one. Those are some upgraded Zerglings, man. You need to... Actually, no, they have 0-0. What? Huh. He didn't even get Carapace. I guess Life focused only on missile attacks so far.
He really focused on this range unit composition, which is interesting. Okay, now he's actually finished up his Overlord speed, so we could see him try to do some craziness.
Oh my God,
some
these
storms
storms.
drop on the Locust and the Corruptors.
Hitting a lot of these Corruptors. Looking for the Abducts now. The Mothership. No, he's
Okay,
going to go for the
grabs
Colossus.
1 Colossus, 2 Colossus, 3.
The Void Rays, though.
Yeah, there are a lot of Void Rays still.
Doing very well against Corruptors, but having lost the Colossus now, being down to only 2, first he's going to have so much trouble dealing with the Locusts. And he's going for a big whopping in the main, by the way, which at this point, with the Zealots being upgraded this much with the 3-1, they're going to start taking out that static defense so quickly.
Yeah, this is a nice bit of harass. He's dumping the minerals, of course, in that Zealot harass. He doesn't have much of a bank. Gonna blink forward, kills one of these Swarm hosts, gets almost a second. There, gets the second one. He's gonna retreat now to the static defense. As you said, that Warp Prism's still doing some work. He finished a hatchery in the top right of the map, but he's
At
not
what
gonna
cost,
get.
Nate?
He can't get any drones over there, man.
I
Once
don't know,
again.
Life is not gonna die anytime soon back at home, but how is he gonna saturate the 5th? I mean, he took that hidden base out on the map, but if this gets spotted, one single Zealot, he's gonna go there and take revenge for what happened in the last game. Like, it's not supposed to do much to have a hidden base like this, and I'm pretty sure first he's gonna be looking for that one very, very soon.
Yeah, 4 Templar being warped in with 2 Void Rays, and yep, okay, just grabs something, pulls it away. It's like you need something with a little bit more range, like a Tempest or
Actually,
Carrier.
spare that one. More Void Rays being made here for first, so he really wants to commit to that big air army. Gonna clear those debris, really will help in transferring walkers to the right-hand side if he was to take new bases there. Dark Shrine on the way. I like the choice, being up to 4 bases already. And okay, the main of Life is the weak points. This is where you can start breaking him because he's across the map, sieging with all these Swamos that he has. Ooh, there is Overlords on the left-hand side actually, getting in position to drop some Zerglings and Hydralisks in the main. They're gonna get there before the Dark Shrine finishes. Ideally,
Okay,
you would
well,
want to warp in DTs against this.
this is kind of cool. This is what I wanted to see out of him when that Ventral Sack started up in the last attempt of this game. Mothership is almost ready, but here comes the drop. Lots of Zerglings, some Hydras. The production should get very quickly.
the
That's
Templar
Templar
Archive is gonna
Archives.
fall immediately.
That's
and,
a
of course,
really big pickup.
The Dark Shrine could die as well, too.
Templar.
if he kills the Dark Shrine, then there's really nothing to defend this for a while. I guess until those that golden armor that
well,
gets back here.
here it comes, man. Oh, is he gonna try to ninja out of here?
I think it's time to raise the wrecked sign here for this. For this
Oh,
army.
he loads
Time to
in.
evacuate.
You don't play Terran Fool.
No afterburners on these overlords. That's for
What a
sure.
shame. They're not quite Ferrari level just yet. But the Dark Shrine did finish, so 3 of those now.
Life is supply block now, and I feel like he needs a lot more static defense with his army, and he's gonna bring some spores, but I'm not sure he's enough yet. Definitely
Yeah.
needs more than that.
He doesn't have a lot of static defense at home either anymore.
Yeah,
so
in the
these
main really is
DTs
the weak point again.
Yeah, these DTs could absolutely wreck him. The strongest point that he has is, I guess, actually all these points are evenly weak, I feel.
Yeah, with the mothership now.
The
First
drop
he's gonna be
comes
able
back
to-
in, which is kind of cool.
You know, first, I think, in my opinion, he's one of the very best late game players in the world. In all matchups. Back in Wings of Liberty, I remember he was one of the only Protosses always willing to play the late game against Zerg on maps like, I remember that 4 players, oh damn, actually forgot. There is a 4-player map, Entomb Valley, something.
That map.
and he always went for the mothership and played around for a long time with War Prisms, as we do see actually some good abducts here happening. DTs didn't get the Greater Spire, and this should be Life's cue to start making some static defense around it. But yeah, as I was saying, first, super strong late game, very patient player.
Yeah, but with a mothership now and a lot of Void Rays, there's that +1 flyer attacks coming in, and a robotics facility.
It's funny that in the previous game he had +2 so fast, but now, even though he went for a lot of Void Rays, he's only getting +1 now.
Yeah.
Looking for the abducts. Life. Oh my god, that flower, man. Oh, he's gonna get it.
Nice
There's no recall.
grab, mothership. Okay. Nice job there, picking that off, of course. It's going to make things a bit easier. That cloaking on the cannons is the problem. These Zerglings are finally about to realize.
Some DT is trying to snipe the Greater Spire again. He might be able to get it. Kills the Queen. I think this is going to go down.
Yep. Yeah, he's got this.
Changelings are not going to change anything, sorry.
They look like they have weapons, but, it's like you're holding up a balloon, right?
Oh my god, last shot actually on that DT is going to get the Greater Spire here. Pretty big deal, but I guess you don't want to be making bull rolls anyway, but losing that Spire itself means he has to remake
2 more Stargates.
Yes, and you know why? Look at Life's Bank. He could literally throw away his entire army, kill nothing, and remax on Mutas and be super dangerous.
First, still has not had either of his hidden bases scouted. Like, you know, it's like become like Battleship, right? Like they know that there's something there. They know that he knows he has to be mining from somewhere. He's just not sure exactly where.
Battleship, huh?
Yeah.
You're so American, Nate.
You just gotta guess.
Let's see. I'm a little bit surprised that First did not kill those debris at the top, because then he could have sent a lot of units through there. You know, that path
Yeah.
with the pylons that he has there.
What's your over/under on First building another carrier?
What's your what?
That's your over/under. You think he's gonna build any carriers? Like how long would this game need to go?
I mean, after the last game, I don't think he's gonna make the same mistake twice, Nate.
He's Locust. I love this. I love this. Like, you're never going to get a 4th base. So, well, this is technically my 6th one now. Hey, he finds it. He found it in the top right, in the right side of the map.
DTs. There we go.
Yeah, DTs. See. Okay, he found me. He found me. Now die.
Looking for the abducts again live. Gonna get a Void Ray.
He's playing with a lot of Vipers. I do enjoy seeing this very heavy Viper count. It's one great way to deal with these shorter ranged Void Rays and just, yep, let's actually continue to pick him off. That poor Mortal.
Yeah, it was gonna be useless. You only keep Immortals against Roaches, and some nice abducts here out of Life. Man, I really thought that Life is not the guy to play that style, but he's playing pretty well so far.
Does First even have the bank to be pushing out like this? I like, oh,
not really. Every unit is very important for him. I think Life, honestly, if he trades his army for as much of First army as he can, and then makes like 50 Mutas at once, how do you fight that as First? You can't make 50 Phoenixes at once. You can't make 20 Phoenixes at once.
With no bank, you can't make any Phoenix at all. Like, he could
But he doesn't know that. He
build.
doesn't know that.
Yeah,
like, regardless of that.
Okay, Todd.
You know what Life should do? He should attack that right-hand side base with Zoglings, but with an Overseer as well. Because DT's... He's actually doing that. He's sending an Overseer. He's a little bit far behind.
Oh, man. Okay, so he's moving, and he's going to try to clean up these cannons. Does give him a lot of time to prepare warp-ins, though. He actually immediately starts preparing other cannons.
For First, who warped in and made units back at home.
Oh, wow.
He cannot warp anything yet, so a next wave of units could kill that. A DT on the top right
so
side
many
is fishing for a
cannons to
base.
build. Like at some point, you will have spent more resources defending this base than resources you will have gotten from the base.
I don't know, Nate. I think you'd need like 150 cannons for that to be true.
Well, he's on his way there. 16 mutas are on the way. Was this the switch you were expecting, or is it not enough?
No, not enough. He needs to lose some of his army. Just trade it. The thing is, if he goes in and loses all of his Corruptors to Storm, then it won't be cost-effective enough for the Mutas to win the game. And then also, mineral-wise, I mean... Oh!
Hey, Mama Ship.
No recall!
Boom!
He could have recalled.
Kills the Observer, too. He hasn't seen the mutas yet, right?
Oh my god, these Templars. Everything's getting abducted. What is going on?
Yeah, lots of abducts going on here. I think all the Vipers are gone though now.
There are not that many infestors. I feel like it's almost as if First could attack and somehow do well.
He hasn't shown the mutas yet, right? So
yeah,
First is still spending his very low amount of resources on defending, right?
Yeah, we're going to be up to
zealots.
31 Mutas in a second.
He sent a force to the top right of the map. He's trying to hit that the hidden expansion for Life.
Static defense is not up yet here for Life, and the Mutas are going to be revealed in a second, and they're going to start on doing damage. Could even get the Mothership as he comes up. He goes straight for the Stargates.
Straight for the Stargates, unpowering these bad boys. The Storms, man, these Mutalisks are moved too fast for you. He actually still had a backup. Actually, that pylon has like 20 hit points left, so he can start producing now Phoenix. Of course, he's still broke. He's still broke, but
28 Mutas still alive here. 4 life, and those Locusts are going to keep on being annoying, forcing the Protoss army basically to stay home while the Mutas are going to reign supreme.
Almost no income now either. So.
Oh, no Storm.
Oh, that's a bit scary. He has enough Mutas to handle this. I think he can even just try to get the pylons and unpower these bad boys.
Unless he recalls, but then he will lose so much. So first, he knows that the Mutas are across the map. He might go for the attack. He's at risk of getting fungled. I think the Mutas are going to come back and have to fight this.
All right, looks like we have the potential here for another base trade as the Mutas chase these probes back over. The crowd is excited for a base trade. This match, are these guys like so good that they would actually play this series out forever? Is that what's happening now?
Yeah, maybe. Pylon gets sniped here. Range on the Phoenix is finally finished, but there are not that many of them. Only 5 are on the map right now. Both players down to 23 walkers. What is going on, Nate?
They're running out of money. Life actually even needs to build Overlords now, but he's gonna lose potentially a lot of his supply to these Phoenix since they did get that range upgrade.
Those Mutas were courageous, but they actually won't even be remembered. Just gonna die.
We will remember them. Don't be a Debbie Downer, Todd.
I won't.
The crowd will definitely never forget this series.
No detection in the main except for that Spore. If he takes that out first, we'll have a good option on possibly sniping everything there. Just a single Muta trying to defend right now. Good revelation, by the way, on all of the Mutas. And
being able to spot those is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So
the bases on the right-hand side survives for first.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot more buildings on the map for first. So in a straight-up base trade scenario with this many storms, the army actually can't be attacked at first.
Both players are broke, by the way. Life only has minerals on his fourth base. And first he's only mining from essentially one base on the right-hand side. What the hell is this game on this map?
All right, well,
Life is going for the fight.
There's a storm.
He pulls back after taking a lot of damage. I think he should let those Mutas regenerate and fight later.
These Swarm hosts really need to get these Templar.
The
It'd be a huge pickup. He gets very close, gets one kill. Of course, now they come the ones with energy kills. Okay, all the Templar have been eliminated. This Mutal
going for the fight. Recall.
Forces the recall.
I think Life has done it this time because 148 army supply to 72. I mean, we saw a crazy game before, but I really don't think that this time
Now I
he
like
can
Life's
lose.
position because all his Mutalisks and Corruptors had no hit points, and then he recalled away from them.
Those DTs going unpunished in the main. He's
Oh,
actually trying to. He was trying to find the army. He knew the recall
Life
probably
is just going to try
happened
to
there.
end this now. He's going to try to end this right now. He's going to try to kill off this army. Gets all the Colossi. Only a couple of Tempests left for first. And he is going to destroy him up 100 army supply in this game. Life just has a little bit too much to be stopped right now. 150 supply to 57. First, still hacking and slashing back in the base of Life. Life does have an Overseer. He has an Overseer. So eventually he'll kill these. Oh, yeah, he's fumbles too. There's that.
I mean, first he's down to almost nothing here. 1 Colossus, 2 DTs, 2 Stalkers, and 3 Phoenixes. He's whopping in some Templars, but again, he's only mining from one base, which is the 4th that he finally took. He somehow got it up. But those Swarmos are about to say something about this, man.
Yeah,
Look at those guys.
Keeping the Stormhouse alive this long has been tantamount to his victory because if those Templar were allowed to run around, it would have made things very difficult for him. 14 drones on the way. Life's like, okay, we're back to playing StarCraft.
There's a Colossus with 108 kills lost on the right-hand side of the map.
Is he just stuck there by himself?
Yeah,
oh,
the
no.
Mutas found it. Not so lost anymore.
He was like, guys, I was trying to keep my high score. My KD was so good. GG, Life will take game number 2, part 2, here at the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto, and is now 1 map win away from moving on. Tough game for first. Tough 2 games, or 2 maps for that game point.
Excellent late game by Life. Seriously, like, you know, he's that guy who loves to play aggressive, who doesn't go Swarmos very often, but now that he did, he was very, very impressive in using them. And I did not particularly expect that, to be honest. You know, setting up the static defense as well as he did for somebody who doesn't seem to be, or I'm just guessing here, doesn't seem to be using this style all that often. That was pretty impressive. The ducks were good.
For someone that you don't expect to ever do that, now MC's all like, look, man, you built carriers, what were you thinking? So don't you know interceptors cost money?
We're living together, man. You can't ever build carriers ever again.
Have you ever seen me build a carrier first? And he's like, well, I mean, you did it one time. He's like, that was a 4v4. It was a mono battle. It was the only unit I was allowed to build. It's the only time you ever build carriers.
Honestly, it didn't seem like such a bad idea at the time. Just the way the game went, you know? If it had worked, he would have looked like a genius. The thing is, Life was so good in cutting the economy of his opponent ASAP that in the end, if you kill all the interceptors, you just have big flying nothing.
Yeah.
Those things do nothing.
And they are actually just giant blimps that kind of float there for show. That's about it. So Overgrowth is the next map. A much more normal map. Still, we've occasionally seen a little bit of Swarm Host play, but I feel like Life is not going to head in that direction again. We're probably going to see more, standard Life. Keep in mind,
Life.
Well, standard Life, aka press random button for build order that Zergs can do against Protoss.
Overgrowth was the map on which versus MC went double hatch before pull, then did double gas later on. It was that game was really weird in itself too, because Life made a bunch of roaches and obviously was attacking with them. Until then, everything's okay. But then he had both a Spire and a Hydra then up, and he was really thinking for a long time about what to make. And then all of a sudden, he made 21 Hydras and didn't wait a single second. He moved across the map, fought with them, traded, killed a lot of Stalkers, and then he's like, well, I've killed a lot of Stalkers, my opponents just saw Hydras, what is he gonna make? Colossus. So he made Mutas and killed MC right out with him. Just with like 15 Mutas.
Yeah.
So the Life uses the transitions so well in terms of, you know, saving his lava, making the units that he needs to make, being where he needs to be to do damage. And it's funny because recently, you know, remember, I think it was Battlegrounds Global, it was Solar who was basically saying that he doesn't think he can lose against Protoss. He was very, very confident in the matchup. And I remember when asking him why, what was it that made him so confident? He just said that, well, basically, if you get a lot of tech buildings and you manage well the transitions between units to units, the Protoss never going to know what you're doing. And by the time he knows, you should be already doing the damage that you need to do to win the game. And for Life, it's proving to be true here once again.
Yeah. I mean, Life now, crazy thing, it's been such a long series already after just two, I don't know, like how would you coin this? After these 3 maps, I guess, is what we should call it. He needs to win this next one. He needs to win it, and then he will be able to move on to the semifinals.
It's overgrowth, man. Just take a 3rd base and do a solid 12 gates with Blink Stalkers. What? Come on.
Such a Protoss answer. Let me guess, +2 in Blink?
Yes.
Of course. I actually like +2.
What do you want? Charge it in Archons?
Yeah.
you want Life to laugh in his face?
I want him to go charge that Archon, exactly.
Somebody tweeted at me saying Life has a habit of misclicking ventral sacks. He did it at DreamHack like 3 times too. This might be true, but at least he noticed that he had it and dropped with it.
Yeah. Someone, I think another tweet I got, someone was like, in that final moments of the first time that they played on Deadwing during the draw, he could try to like suicide the Void Reason on the drones. I'm like, I don't know. There were a lot of them. Maybe when the drones surrounded the Zealot, right? Or I don't know. I guess it was too late then because the Zealot was going to die.
Yeah. It was funny at one point, like those drones, they went for the surround and that Void Rage charged for like just a second. It looked like he electrocuted one of the drones and chased it away. But yeah, first right now, he's going to have to change something up. I don't know what yet. And if you look at his style too, like, you know, he's a guy who likes to go into the late game. And so far, on Deadwing at least, you know, it wasn't a 2-base. It wasn't a 3-base all-in timing. It was both of them choosing their composition, trying to counter each other. And both times, Life getting the better end. You know, one of those games did end up in a draw, but I really think that it was Life's game to lose.
Do you think that Life picked Swarmhost because he felt pressured to do so, or was he like...
The positions,
He already showed his hand for what he wanted to do on that map. The positions only?
Yeah, maybe the positions. Maybe he thought that there was a good chance that first on this map we'll go again for the triple Stargate against which, if you go for Swarmhost like this, you make a lot of Spores and Queens. You don't really care about Void Race, and you just win with the Siege because there is no Colossus on the ground a lot of the time, which in this game there was, but just not enough. And
so
it was just a weird game.
How about a final thought on all the Void Rays that were built? You told me that you thought it was a bit unusual mostly throughout that game.
Yeah, because like he made the 2 Stargates wanting to go for the Colossus Void Ray composition, but when you see that you're up against Swarmhost, you don't really... If he had seen a Roach Hydra, okay. But against Swarmhost, I really don't like it, personally. I just don't think it's good. You're not going to be able to attack into the Locust, and if the Zerg attacks into you, he's always going to have Vipers, abduct some stuff, kill it, so you need more Colossus, more Templars, rather than air units.
Okay. Not really an option to do like what he tried the first time on Deadwing, where he like come from behind and try to snipe a base, or with the Voids?
In these positions, it's too hard. Zerg always has...
You have to go around the center, right?
Yeah. Zerg always has the Watchtower. You could go through the left-hand side, but you might find yourself stuck, and then if there are infestors, you get fungled. It's just the beginning of the end. So, yeah, not a big fan of the Stargate units against what we saw here from Life.
All right. We just making sure that everything's set up properly for the players, of course, as they get ready to go into game number 3 of this best of 5. And looks like Life is ready to go. So I think hopefully first is 2, and then we can get this game underway. Overgrowth. You think 3-base play for the smallest map that we've had here?
I mean, out of first, you never know. He plays a lot more passive than most other Protosses. If he's forced into all-inning, he's going to do it. But in general, he's that guy that will just expand, try to make something happen here and there. But so far, in this series, I feel like he's never really committed to some massive attack and basically said, well, it's either going to work and I'm going to be ahead, or it's going to fail and I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Every time he attacked, it seemed like he didn't really mean it. You know, he always had a recall in the plans. He never proxied pylons with his army. He never brought a Warp Prism to warp in the fight and all that. So definitely needs to commit a lot more to those attacks.
All right, well, let's see if he can do that. He has a very, very long way to go if he wants to win this match. That is for sure, and it all starts here. We are loaded in to Overgrowth, and in the bottom left position, we have a blue Protoss player who's not afraid of carriers and base trades from TCM Gaming. He is first. His opponent spawning in the northeast position as the red Zerg. One map went away from advancing on to the top 4 from Team Startail. He's live.
Life has had a very impressive run in this tournament. Started in the open brackets, 2-0 Stardust, 2-0 Dempsey later on. So far against Protoss, he hasn't lost a map. He's had a draw. He has a draw on his record, but not a lost map.
Just think, that draw game with carriers was brought to you by Sasquatch not being able to attend this tournament. And then Life taking his spot.
Yeah, it's funny to think about that too, I guess.
Just imagine if he's able to come here, everything could have been completely different on this side of the bracket as far as the open bracket results, the group results.
Yeah. If Life wins this tournament, he needs to send a check to Sasquatch. Or at least give him an hour coaching.
Just
you know,
like, yeah,
something.
send him a postcard from Toronto. Be like, thanks for the $10,000, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, first Forge and then the Scouts. Could be going for a cannon rush, I guess a hatch first. Remember, I talked about this a little bit. Life is that guy that will go hatch first. And if he sees a cannon rush, he's going to pull drones. And I feel, personally, he has one of the best cannon rush defense with his drones. And I know that every time I say that, the Zerg player dies horribly right after. But I really think he does, regardless of that.
Well, let's see. Let's see what he's got. That Forge is done.
I think he's just going to be a Nexus.
There's
he's
a probe
gonna be a
there.
Nexus.
He's not willing
Or
to chance it.
He's
Or
thinking about
is
it.
he?
Okay, no, just a Nexus.
No,
He knows. Come on, it's Life.
no cannon shenanigans.
You don't get on
this
Life.
game.
Life cannon too.
That's. I'm
no,
not sure
just a
about
pylon.
that.
He could actually make a, you know, on the left of that pylon, a cannon pretty well walled off. But I don't think that after a Nexus you ever go for that. And the Overlord of Life is gonna get there.
Who have we ever seen do that, Todd?
I think it was Stardust. No.
I think I've seen Oz do it. Oz did it versus Revival, I remember, on like Polar Night in season 1 or 2 of WCS America. But it's certainly very difficult to execute because, as you said, all that's going to do is slow everything else down. Like his gateway will get delayed a little bit. And I still think he's okay, but Life will get that third base. Not too much trouble.
Life, he loves rushing that third base on Overgrowth. Almost always gets it. You think he plays similarly to how he played against MC? I would be surprised because, like, first, in terms of preparation, he has one of the best. He has the Bustos to talk with, talk strategy and all that. And if he knows kind of what's gonna come, then it's very hard for it to work somehow. But it kind of feels like Life, no matter what he does, it always works in the end.
Yeah, Life. He's good at making things happen, to say the least. Cybernetics Core is coming in for first. So what kind of tech does first go for on this game? We've seen him try to open up Stargate. We know that he's not afraid to open up Oracle.
When it's a Forge first, it's almost always Stargate out of him, I feel. And you know, if he chooses to go something crazy, like a 2-base, a very strong 2-base, could be something like an Immortal Push on this base. But if you look at his pylon placement, where would he put the Robo? I guess he's going to throw down an additional pylon now. But, I don't know, I feel it's unlikely. I'm thinking Stargate here, definitely.
All right. I can take it. He certainly has enough gas to do it. He starts up his warp gate immediately. Where's the rest of the gas going?
It's a map where you can hide stuff, you know? In the back of your base, make a stalker, make sure no overlords flying there.
Yeah, look at this probe. Look at him. He's just sitting there. He's like, I've been given orders, and it's to build a Stargate. Boom. And of course, he's waiting for that pylon to finish so that he can place it there. It's in a tough spot to see, I guess, but that Overlord should be able to see it, no? There's not any units down here, right?
Yeah, but he's going to get a stalker, I'm guessing, with this.
He still hasn't. He starts +1 before he starts any
Zealot,
units.
by the way, the ambitious Zealot. Across the map, gonna try to get a snipe on something.
And he's already gone through most of his shields. Is he gonna get a drone? No.
It's the revenge for that Deadwing game.
Well, this guy certainly isn't gonna make that Zealot proud.
He reincarnated.
The failure Zealot, I guess. The dead wing Zealot. That's what he is, man. It's like, all you have to do is kill workers.
Yeah.
You really don't have much else to worry
You know,
about.
with the quick +1 like this behind the Stargate, I'm thinking there is a chance first could go for something like 3 additional gateways and do a big pressure, which is a build that MC himself loves on this build. Even though he does not open with Forge openers that much, if you do 4 gates +1 and an Oracle, you can do a lot of damage on your opponent's third base. And it's actually what MC did versus Life previously on this map. He didn't do all that much damage, so we'll see. Yeah, there we go. 3 additional gateways.
Life starts a couple Spore Crawlers, too.
Yeah,
and
I mean-
Zergling speed. He didn't,
Life
see
somehow-
he didn't see the Stargate.
Yeah, he saw the timing on the gases, timing on the +1, and Life is just that smart. He's like, well, I know what's gonna come. The cherry on top of the cake is if he was to find that pylon and probe. But I don't think it's gonna happen here. We have the first pylon on the way. And it's not 3 additional gateways, it's 6. First, he's gonna commit a lot to this.
This is a very big attack. I didn't think I'd seen this since, like...
You know what happens during MC versus Life? Life skipped the Roach Warren. He defended with only Zerglings and Queens. So I think MC picked up on that and he's like, you know what, first, just do a 7 gate +1. Because he skips the Roach Warren, he goes straight into Hydralisks. You're gonna kill him right away. You're gonna get Mass Zealots, you're gonna get in there and kill him. And I think this might just kill Life. I mean, I don't know how you hold this.
That's going to be very difficult, that's for sure. The Hydralisk Den is halfway done. Of course, it builds pretty damn fast.
The execution
but
is not great, by the way, by First. Look at how much money he has. The gateways came in one by one. He's chrono boosting them out now, realizing he has so much money. This wasn't the cleanest of executions at all.
Warpins are coming in off those gates, though, Todd. This Oracle will also help chase down any Queens, or at least kill the Zerglings on these elves. There are still a really large number of Zerglings, despite that +1 upgrade. Okay, Force Field's in the Queen. Here come the Zerglings, trying to get us around on the sentries.
Life has so much. 46 army supply to 21. The Hydralisks are going to come out now here in a second. There was
so
enough
much here
Zerglings.
for Life.
Life just doesn't die to this attack.
With just Zerglings, he defends a +1 7-gate attack from First. He is really impressive so far. Now the Hydras are out. Hydra's not particularly scared of Zealots, especially with Zergling support. The Oracle definitely lending an assisting hand, but if he doesn't actually kill Life here, like, he's done. Look at this. He started up a Void Ray. He canceled it. He started up another Oracle. He's like, well, what do I build now?
Yeah.
He has 1 Oracle and 45 probes, Todd.
First, he's in so much trouble. He's down to, he never made more than 45 walkers against the 58 of Life. Oh, that poor Hydra. Could I survive? No.
Okay, he's dead. He tried. Hydralisk range wasn't done for that fight either. Like,
Yeah.
you had Hydralisks, like, just raw Hydras.
Yeah, I think Life can just close it out. Just keep on making units. Go for an attack. Well,
Good luck
it's
getting
Life.
a third base first. How many? He's adding on 2 gateways too. So he's gonna go up to 9 gates.
It's gonna be some kind of sick gateway all-in. I don't know. He remade an Oracle as well. He's on 9 gates. That's way too much.
I'm not sure I believe in the 9 gate.
You know, I really feel like this should have worked. Just the execution was bad out of First. And
Well,
I don't usually call
you
out
said
players
it.
that often, but like he had so much money. The gates didn't line up very well. Like he morphed like 5, but 2 more were like finishing. Not even at the same time, so the execution just wasn't there.
The biggest thing that I think you pointed out was how much money he had banked.
Yeah, he
even
had
when
so
his
much
warp
money.
gates finished. Like if he started those gateways just a little bit earlier,
Yes.
or got his first warp ins, then that extra 30 seconds lets him spend that extra, 700 minerals, and suddenly with twice as many zealots, maybe he makes it happen. But now it's just it's not happy times. That's for sure.
Making a third Oracle, I really don't know what his plan is here. I guess he's just gonna mass on those 9 gates, get a bunch of Oracles, and hope to get lucky. Maybe catch Life out of position and with some nice force fields. You never know. The power of Protoss might finally do well in those quarterfinals.
Well, I'm not sure how good the Power Protoss is going to be in this matchup. There's so many Hydralisks.
Yeah.
And Hydralisks...
With range, like it's such a big deal that there is range.
Yeah, man, Hydras are just, they dominate gateway units. There's not any Roaches. And Oracles, yeah, it's like, okay, they do bonus damage versus light units, but they have no hit points, so they're just going to die almost instantly. Look at this
First army
pre-spread.
supply is 75 to 100, so
Life
it's not
has-
that bad either. It's just the amount of Hydra that is scary. But if he takes a really, really good fight and Life messes up, like for example, if he catches those units,
he could force field off the left side, and okay, he's going to try to force field the right side. Some of those Hydras still get in. The Hydras on the left are able to get in, though. This is the biggest problem. Zealot warp in comes in, and the left side has now been isolated, which isn't too bad.
Oh, Hydras get
some
in.
still slipping through. Life, he's got about as much of a surround as you could possibly ask for against this force. 6 more Hydras on the way. He's up 73 army supply to 24, and first, his tournament hopes are going down the drain with this push. GG Life is victorious here at the Intel Extreme Masters Toronto.
Life with a good defense here in the end, you know. A lot of Zergs would have lost patience here and maybe get over-eager. Counter-attacked immediately, lost a lot, and then maybe thrown away the game, but not him. He was thinking about it for a second, just pulled back, made more Hydralisks, made sure he had enough, set up the concave and all that. And first, just not that convincing in this series.
No. The thing is...
He was the one that got the closest to beating Life with the draw, though.
But when you play Life, nothing that Life does will make sense because that's just how he rolls. A lot of his build orders, a lot of the styles, it's what makes Life an exciting player to watch, but a nightmare to play against. He's been a champion enough times to basically say, apparently I'm good enough to just do whatever I want and I'm going to win anyway. And that's pretty much what he showed in this series. Really good play by Life, and I think he's probably one of the scarier players moving on. And certainly, whoever he faces in the semifinals, either Yoda or Zest, whoever he faces, they have a tall task ahead of them.
Yeah, this is those semifinals, even the quarterfinals, so ridiculous if you think about it. Life gets either Zest or Yoda, and then Teja versus Flash. Can you imagine? Like, what's the finals? What do you think the finals is going to be here? Like, no matter what we get here, we win. It's such sick matches.
We win, the viewers win.
Maybe a Flash versus Life rematch. Or even Life versus Teja would be a rematch, I guess, too, because they met in finals, I think, before DreamHack or something.
Yeah, but that requires Flash to lose. Oh, I guess Teja. That would require Teja to lose if Flash was going to win. What a weird thought. Let's hear the thoughts of the guys on the couch after that series.
Thanks very much, Nathanias there, and Todd, of course, thanks for all their hard work over the last few days. Been long days from them. And to all of our commentary team, QXC included in Fezza, who's backstage in the observing, and James, of course, our interpreter. We have two other members of the crew with us right now on the couch to wrap up things on day 3. The very fast-changing, faster than Superman in a telephone box, Apollo, and Kalaris alongside to wrap up the day. It's been a terrific day.
Yeah, it's been so good. I'm still coming down off the...
You're still out of breath.
Still out of breath, yeah, because of the commentary that I put into the Life and... I mean, not Life, sorry, the Flash and Snoot game.
Yeah.
Still coming down off that. It was a wonderful series. It's actually one of the best games or set of games I've had the pleasure to commentate in quite a while, actually. So.
Okay, before we wrap up the day, let's just wrap up that last match, because... Kalaris almost got the score right. It was 3.5 to half, and he said 3-1. So we'll kind of give him that anyway. Incredible drawn game. Let's talk about that first off, because I said to you, Sean, backstage, I've seen a number of draws over my small time in StarCraft 2, relatively to yours, but they've always been a Terran. I don't think I've ever seen a draw that hasn't involved a Terran.
That was a totally bizarre situation. 1 in a million. It's very rare you're ever going to get to that point, and technically in the end I suppose Life could have tried to bring it back, but it would have taken actually like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, we may have run out of time, more than we ran out yesterday. So we sort of, that's a draw, we'll move on. But clinical from Life, really clinical.
He's world class. He's only dropped a single map so far in this tournament, and Life is a player who can enter a tournament and can actually not play that well, or he plays amazing. And right now, he's on fire, and it wouldn't be surprising if he actually went all the way to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did at New York. There's one more incredible fact about all of this, and I think he's tuned in right now. Sasquatch is the reason that Life was able to take part in Intel Extreme Masters Toronto. I think Life should share some of the prize money with him.
That would be very kind of him, yeah.
It's the only reason he was allowed in, because he actually dropped out of the competition very late and Life was on the waiting list, so he got that next spot and it took the place in the open bracket and has now gone all the way through to the semi-finals.
Well, there's two ways to look at it. You can thank Sasquatch, or every other player in the tournament can hate on Sasquatch. So.
Yeah, I think the players that Life's beat will probably be sending him emails immediately. Let's take a look at the quarterfinals and how they've panned out today. It's been a terrific game. We still have one to go as well. Don't forget, Zest versus Yoda will be our opening game tomorrow, because we'll be back here tomorrow for our final day. Life 3-0'd against First. We already discussed that one. Earlier on today, Tasia coming through 3-1 against Violet. Little blip in one game, but other than that, he was almost flawless. And then that fabulous game between Flash and Snoop. We also had all the remaining open bracket games, the group games finished off as well. So it's been a long day, 7 matches. I mean, what stood out is kind of obvious, I suppose, but is everyone going to go for the Flash Snoot game?
How can you not?
Has to be.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
So it's
nothing you can really add to that. It's like,
How else do you
Flash
use
and
it?
Snoop.
I mean, let's talk about that match a little bit, just as we wrap up things. 2 up, Snoop's sitting there thinking, well, this is easy.
Yeah.
Everything I've tried's worked. Game 1, he looked like he was going to do his usual, feisty stuff with a little Muta, Baneling Rush, little Ling Rush, and all he was doing really was biding time for those Swarm hosts. And actually, he didn't even need them in the end. He just finished him off. So he must have been thinking, well, that's awesome, because I was planning Swarm host like 15, 20 minutes in, but actually I didn't even need them. This is going to be straightforward. And then game 2, he tries something a little bit different, and it works. So you're then thinking, well,
Nothing can go wrong.
no, I mean, I almost thought game 3, why not just put a little bit of cheese out there? Because it doesn't matter now if you lose. And he
Yeah.
didn't. He kind of went back to his normal. What do you think happened to him in terms of the way that he went through that match? Or do you think that he just got sussed out as he went through against Flash?
I think he took too much of an aggressive stance in the series. I think it's a fantastic way to start the series, just to go in there and be you're not going to just sit down and take whatever Flash is going to give you, actually give it back to him. So I think he started the series really well, caught Flash off guard in the first 2 games, but continued down that aggressive manner. I think he was missing the ability to come back a couple of gears and play a more defensive game, because that's where Snoop's really good. Too aggressive through all the games, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, I mean, even from outside of a commentary's perspective, inside a fan's perspective, I would have killed for a game where they were level pegging, going into the normal Swarm host style that we were seeing Snoop go for. To see what Flash would have done, again, level pegging, had he had to encounter it.
That was probably the biggest surprise we had of the 5 games that we saw, was that last game wasn't a standard Snoop kind of game.
Yeah, it's so aggressive, and that's what happened, because, I mean, to overview the last 3 games, Snoop did something aggressive, Flash stopped it, Flash had an advantage, Flash finished it, and that was like 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, the 3rd game that he won was great, but then the 4th game he was even further behind, and it was just no way he could come back from that, so it was almost like, well, okay, it's 2-2 now in his head. He had
and
to.
Flash was expecting it too, he kept on scouting, kept on
You
scanning.
could see it coming, so disappointing in a way for Snoop. I want to wrap up with Snoop himself in the fact that he's still inside the top 16 for BlizzCon. He's added a few more points, but probably not enough if we're honest. And he doesn't really have any other options left for the rest of the season. So it's not looking great for him.
I actually think there's only a single tournament
I think
left
there's only one more that
he's
he can
going
get points in. Yeah.
Because I think DreamHack Moscow is happening in like a couple of weeks. He's not going there, and then there's DreamHack Stockholm is the last one. And outside of the Kesper Cup, there is nothing else available.
There's only the WCS and the GSL. So
and he's out.
Yeah. So and there's lots of other players that are just below him that are still in, which is kind of harsh for him as well. Because if they then advance, he's going to tumble down, which is a real shame.
Yeah.
Put it into context though. Over the last 8 weeks, we did some stat checking backstage. He's won 26 matches against Koreans, 19 of those against different Korean players, and we're talking top god-tier Koreans, and has a 76% win rate against them in the last 2 months. That, just on its own, in isolation, is an incredible achievement.
The thing is with Snoop, not Snoop. The thing is with the non-Koreans, there's always a competition, discussion, who's the best, who's the best. There is no discussion anymore. Snoot is the #1 non-Korean player in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Good way.
And especially considering what we saw at this tournament as well. If you look at the list of players that he has actually just beaten, it was Hero, it was SOS, he pushed Flash to the very verge.
Yeah.
It's
No
no contest.
In a way, in any other ordinary Intel Extreme Masters, he might well be sitting here as the winner, having beaten CJ Hince's Hero and SOS.
Yeah.
And lost to Flash. He might have been in the final again. That might have been his run through the bracket on an ordinary one. It's just unfortunate. It's just so many of them to try and get through today. Let's bring up the graphic again for the quarterfinal. I just want to show you who we've got through to the semis as well, because that's important for tomorrow. Life will play the winner of Zest versus Yoda. Now, if that's Zest, Life versus Zest is going to be absolutely crazy. Yoda, again, new team, TCM, would be fabulous for him to reach it as well. And then on the bottom half, Tasia versus Flash.
Zest completes the top 4 for an amazing double semi-finals.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yoda, if he is able to beat Zest, that's still a good player in there.
But he then becomes the wild underdog.
He's the wild
of the
underdog.
4. If Zest goes through, you almost can't call this anymore.
If Zest goes through, any final is the best final.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. I was gonna end by asking you about who you thought might be in that final, but if it's kind of doesn't really matter anymore, I suppose. But have you got an name? I mean, you've had a great day today. 100% predictions
Yeah,
all the
I'm
way
doing okay.
through. Well done.
Well done, mate.
That's opposite Artosis level.
Well done, mate.
That's 9,001 level predictions. Don't think we've had that since BlizzCon.
Oh, I guess not.
No. Okay. So who do you think?
I know my final. You
All
go
right,
first.
So who's the final? Let me do this in two ways, right? Because we've got a minute to wrap up.
Oh, I know my final.
Who do you think will be in there, and who would you want to be in there? So heart and head, effectively.
They're actually both the same.
Oh.
They're actually both the same.
Okay.
It's Flash Life.
So Master versus the Padawan.
Almost, yeah.
You know, because we're at that kind of con.
And I know he's going to say the same thing.
Really?
No, I was actually still processing Red Eye's
Okay.
joke.
All right.
So
okay.
I was.
All right. Let me give you mine, because mine
Okay,
might
okay.
surprise you, actually.
Okay.
I'd like to see the KT boys in the final.
Okay.
I think just, Pro League being what it was and fantastic, it would just be crazy to see them go head to head.
That match happened already in the qualifier.
I know, but it doesn't matter. This is the real deal now, James.
Okay, okay.
What
All
about
right,
you?
you ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
All right.
I think it will be Tasia versus Life.
Wow.
I want Flash versus Life.
Okay.
Okay, so heart and head for you is a little bit different.
The thing is Tasia.
Yeah.
I really want to see Flash beat him, but I have a feeling Tasia will win that. And Life for me Life has always been one of my favorite Zerg players, so
Okay.
I would love to see him go through
right.
and beat Zest or Yoda.
Yeah, I mean, we still have to. Whoa. Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. We're cursing the poor TCM guy. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming down to Fan Expo here. It's been fantastic to have the crowd down here in Canada. You've been terrific today. We hope to see you back tomorrow again for more StarCraft 2 action. It has been a fabulous day. Flash is still in the Decade of God, but can it continue, or will the summer return tomorrow? We'll find out. See you then.